your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Providence Christian Football, the 2022 season for the fourth year in a row. You got Mike Bridges alongside Corey Driggers giving you the action. And throughout the day, we're going to tell you a little bit how the region has changed. If you're a Providence fan, you're going to see some teams on the schedule that you haven't seen in the past. Highland Home, which is not in the region, but this is a different kind of team than we've seen in the past Providence play. And if you don't know anything about them, you're in for a treat tonight.
Yeah, Highland Home had a really good year last year. Traditionally, they're not that good of a football team or football program, but last year had a really good run in the playoffs and beat some very good teams along the way. So Providence is going to have their hands full tonight.
And we'll talk. There's a couple of Division I recruits on Highland Home's squad, and if you can see down there, number 15 is the one we'll talk about. Here's the opening kickoff, kind of a squib kick, and taken right at about the 37-yard line, and looks like that was Harrison Mims. Got it. He's a veteran, and Providence will start the season 1st and 10 at the 37. And as we look at Providence, they had a good run a few years ago, and then the last couple of years not quite up to the standards that we're used to seeing at Providence. They were 4-6 last year. Only had 3 returning starters last year. This year, a much more experienced team.
No question. Coach Keith is looking to capitalize on that experience, and here we see the young freshman at quarterback, Craig Pittman, taking the snap for the Eagles.
And Ryland Banner is in the backfield. He gets the first call, goes up about the 41-yard line, so give him just about 4 yards on that carry. And what we'll see tonight, a little different than the last couple of years, is a more experienced offensive line and one that's got a little bit more size than what we're used to seeing Providence have.
Yeah, definitely beefed up this year. Coach Keith is hoping to count on that line to open the holes for Ryland Banner. And Durden, when he comes back, as we'll talk more about Durden's injury in just a few minutes, I'm sure.
So Pittman, the freshman, with his second snap last year, he played a decent amount, so he's got some experience. He's going to hand it once again to Banner. This time, not quite the success he had before. Really hammered and thrown back, and it looks like he's going to be a 1-yard loss. Going to bring up the first 3rd down. Last thing that a coach wants to do, the first drive of the season, is have a 3rd and long.
Yeah, no question. That's Javen Johnson, 54 for Highland Home, a 5'8", 260-pound junior with a penetration.
And we'll talk more about the defensive line, the offensive line for Highland Home, because they have a lot of size, probably as good a size as Providence is going to see this year as a whole, as a unit. And this is a 2A team. Looks almost like a 5A team when you're just looking at them. So here we go, 3rd and 7. It's a tight formation, and it's going to be a kind of a delayed handoff to Banner. Didn't quite work. He got the 1 yard back, but unfortunately needed 6 others. And so it's going to bring up the first 4th down. We're going to punt.
Had a little issue with the exchange there between Pittman and Banner that slowed the play down just long enough for 54, again, Javen Johnson, to penetrate and make a really good tackle.
And that's one thing on those kinds of plays where you have just a slight delay. You got to hold that block. And when you're playing a line the size of Highland Home, it is difficult to hold those blocks. So at first it looked like it was going to be a punt, and what we see a lot from Providence, they will go for it in strange situations, and it looks like 4th down and 4 or 4th down and 6. Looks like they're going to go for it. Pittman going back now. He's going to do a quick kick. And he did quick kick it and got it down to about the 30. Pretty good bounce, and goes out at probably about the 22-yard line. So that really worked out. A little bit of nerves, I think, from fans thinking we're not going to go for it right here.
Yeah,
about the first one.
No question. About a 40-yard punt there from Pittman, and that was very effective. I was a little worried, like you said, to begin with, as to what we were about to do, but we can see that they've worked on that and executed it well there.
So now Highland Home comes out. Bryce McKenzie will be the quarterback, and all eyes will be on some of the explosive players they have. Number 4, somebody to watch, Kadarius Shepard. He's a tall receiver, and they had a jamboree last week against Pike, and offensively they didn't score a lot. They fumbled and had some problems on the defensive end, but Shepard had a long touchdown. So we'll be interested to kind of see how he plays out. First one, it's going to be a quarterback straight up the middle, McKenzie, and it looks like maybe they're going to give him a half yard. We'll give him 1 yard on that one. in a good play by Providence. And Providence has played in the past very, very good defensive line.
Yeah, that's one thing Kenny Keith and the Eagles program have held on to throughout their ups and downs. Is their defense has played pretty good. Connor Odom is a senior this year and is expected to have a good year. And first play on defense, he starts out with a tackle.
Yeah, Trey Douglas in there as well, number 30, who's got a lot of experience, been on the team for quite a while. So here's Bryce McKenzie. Going to give him second down and 9. He's going to pass it for the first time. He looks like he's looking at Shepard, just kind of throws it out, and not quite sure if he just didn't have anything, but number 9 certainly was not open.
Yeah, good coverage there by the Eagles staying home where they were supposed to be. That's 23, Ryland Banner, as well as Calvin McClintock, a sophomore who is a really good athlete and who's expected to do big things in the defensive backfield for the Eagles this year.
So last year, Providence only had 2 seniors. This year, they have 13. They also have 16 juniors. And this junior class is a class that the football coaches have been watching for a number of years coming up because it has the best size Providence has had in a few years. Looks like McKenzie wants to go to Shepard once again, but he's going to go really deep. And there's our first shot to see the great player for Highland Home. And it looks like he's going to go in for the score. 5 touchdown, and that is Keldrick Falk. I thought we would talk a little bit more about him on the defensive end, but he is a unbelievable player for Highland Home in 2A, 6'6", 250, and going to Florida State.
Yeah, totally overmatched there in size. Really, not knocking the quarterback, but that was obviously a very poor pass. And for it to turn into a, 70-yard touchdown pass, almost 80-yard touchdown pass, speaks volumes about just that receiver, how big he is. We had a guy that got our hands on him, but with that size, just could not bring him down.
And it looked to me like McKenzie was just going to roll out, and he wanted to go to Shepard first. It didn't feel like throwing it to Shepard. And then when he saw Falk down there, I think he just kind of threw it up. That's why you just throw it up, because Falk is 6'6" and very, very difficult. You can see he's not extremely fast, but just fast enough.
Yeah, our defender, that ball was so badly underthrown, our defender was not able to take a look back around and get back to even make the play. So that really was to their advantage. The extra point is good there by number 3. That's the quarterback, I believe, Bryce McKenzie, who kicked that for Highland Home.
And so, again, if you're a fan and you're watching, especially on the wide shots, Highland Home has a lot of players. To me, they look like a 4A, 5A team because they have a lot of size. That's one thing that Providence has not had over the years is a number of players with good size. This year, probably as good as they've had in a number of years, but Highland Home is really skilled, and when you have a player that's already committed to going to Florida State, you can see his impact right away.
No question. They have several guys. Actually, it's Keldrick Falk that you're speaking of, but he's got a little brother. I say little. I don't know if that's the right term. Caleb Falk, younger brother is probably the more accurate term, who's being recruited by Florida, Georgia, LSU, multiple SEC schools. So that's the kind of talent that we're playing against tonight. We're going to have to guard those edges. If you saw there, we stopped the run. And looked like to do that pretty easily, actually. But then the danger is going to be on the edges for us and when the quarterback scrambles and just really throws the ball up.
It really is. And Shepard, who he's tried to go to the first 2 times, and he really just looked back and looked right at Shepard. And Shepard has not been open either time. It's going to be a long kick, and it's going to go into the end zone. And so for the second time, Providence has the football. This time will be at the 20-yard line. So defensively up the middle, I don't think it's going to be as big of a issue, like you said, on the edge, and if they can get any kind of pass rush, because the 2 times that McKenzie's had it, he has had no real pass rush, so he could take a couple of seconds to look around. You need to make it uncomfortable for him.
No question, and we need to keep him in the pocket. On that play, he was able to scramble outside the pocket, bought a little more time, and then just threw it up for grabs, and it worked, of course.
Here's something that Providence is going to do a little bit this year. They're going to go under center, some different looks, and still with the similar kind of rushing that they've had, where it kind of have the inside handoff right there, and that goes to Calvin McClintock, and so give him just about 9 yards. That's one where you kind of want to wish that they'd give you a little bit more. Looks like they're going to give it to him for 10 yards, so a good run.
Very good. Nice little misdirection there. The defense is flowing one way, hands it back to Calvin. He goes the other way. And again, McClintock is a really good athlete, and they're expecting big things from him, as I said earlier, on the defensive side, but also with the ball in his hands on the offensive side.
Well, you don't see Providence under center very often, and you have the fullback, Harrison Mims, Here's going to be the first pass. It's just going to be a screen pass to Mims. Try to get it out to him in space. He gets knocked down after about a 5-yard gain. So one thing that we had heard is that Providence was going to have some different looks, and so far in this series, we're seeing those different looks.
We are, and not only are we seeing those, we're seeing them executed successfully, and maybe that's obviously our guys have been practicing that, and it's good to see them do these things correctly. But also Highland Home, this is probably something they haven't seen on film that they've watched at Providence in the past.
Yeah, it's one of the rare times that you've seen Providence under center. So Pittman looks very good as a freshman, doesn't look rattled at all. There's another inside handoff, and this time stacked up and maybe 1 yard.
Yeah, multiple players for Highland Home, including Caleb Falk, number 5, who is a linebacker that I referenced earlier, who is a highly recruited sophomore.
And it's nice when your sophomore is 6'3", 215, but when you look at his brother, you see his future might be 6'6", 250 as well. Number 15 is Cadellrick Falk, who we've talked about, who had that long touchdown. So the second third down for Providence in this first quarter as it's winding down, almost halfway through. Pittman back in the shotgun. We'll see if they throw the first pass. Going to be a little bit of a longer count, and going to have to get a timeout as the clock was going down at 6:55 of the first quarter, and Highland Home leading 6-0. This is the first timeout. We'll take it with them on the Scenic Sports Network. Third down and 3. Providence with a second third down of the game. Looks like it's going to be that double inside handoff, and it's going to work for a first down and get the ball all the way up to just about the 44-yard line. So Providence able to move the chains and keep this drive going.
Good running there by number 20, Chapel Stickler. I think that's his obviously first carry of the year, and a nice job by Chapel to find some daylight, dance around a little bit, hit the hole hard for that crucial first down for the Eagles.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to go 2 3-and-outs to start the season, and especially after you've already seen how explosive Highland Home can be. And they're smartly running away from Falk, number 15, but it's working. But the inside runs have really worked so far. Stickler in motion. It's going to be an inside handoff again, and Banner gets just about 2 yards, 3 yards, and so the inside game working for them. Little runs here and there.
Yeah, tough sledding there. Of course, Kendarius Shepard, number 4, who was 6'3", 205, and then Caleb Falk plugging that middle in a hurry. And, we've had some success to the left side, try to go there again, and they were waiting. So may have to reverse it and try it to the right side here in a second and see if we can sneak it by 15, the recruit.
Right, so it might be one of those situations to where maybe you get a double team or something like that on him and try to get around, because you can't just keep going the same side over and over. Play clock rolling down. Going to have to get the play off quick here. 3-2. Pittman gets it. It's going to go for the pass. Gets it outside. Had Mims and just a little bit high, and that might have given him 4 or 5 yards. Certainly was not going to be a first down.
Yeah, 15. The star for Highland Home, Celtic Falk, was putting the pressure in there. He kind of cut off the passing lane, and looked like Pittman tried to get rid of it a little too quick, maybe. And I mean, hey, I don't blame him, but he got the pressure on you. But that was, if he'd have held on a little bit longer, I think he may have been able to connect with Mims and at least got some positive yardage out of it.
So 5:42 to go in the first quarter. We're at the heat timeout. If you're new to high school football in Alabama, they do take a timeout midway through the quarters to make sure that the kids don't get overheated. So we'll take that timeout with them. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. It is 3rd down and 8, the third down that Providence has had to endure so far in this first quarter. Overcame the last time they had a 3rd down. We'll see what they do here. It's going to be a little push out to Banner, and maybe gets 2 yards. And so this is going to be the first real thought process for Coach Keith. What's he going to do here? 4th and probably about 6, but right around midfield.
Yeah, they tried to get it around 15. Falk that time on the edge. They had Mims as well as Odom on that right side to try to crack down the block, and he was taken out of the play, but good pursuit there by the DB on behalf of Highland Home to keep that from being a positive play.
Okay, the last 4th down, Pittman did a quick kick, and it looks like he's going to do that again. Tried to see maybe if Highland Home would fall for it. They did not. We'll see what he does, and he does kick. This kick, not bad either, and gets down doesn't get the good bounce back to about the 25-yard line. I'm always amazed when I see the officials run down and the guy standing on the 25-yard line and they put the ball down at the 26. But that's where Highland Home will start their second series at their own 26.
Yeah, good direction on that kick. We didn't get the bounce that he wanted there, but he kept it away from the Highland Home player so he couldn't return it, because we've had some problems, as you well know, over the last several years defending kickoffs and punt returns. So trying to keep it out of the hands of the speedster for Highland Home.
Yeah, and you almost think if Pittman kind of worked a little bit more on his kicking, he could actually be a pretty good punter, because last couple of years, Mims has been punting, and it hasn't been bad. Jake Smith punted a few years ago, but he looks like he's got an opportunity here. So Highland Home, second time with the ball, first time 3 plays, got a 78-yard touchdown. This will be the first running play. A big hole up the middle, a little move outside, moves back inside up to about the 35-yard line. And so give him a first down and a good run and wide open in the inside.
Yeah, Harrison Mims and Zach Benson on the pursuit after a lot of yardage there for the Flying Squadron, which is obviously one of the best nicknames in the state of Alabama. Got to give them credit for that. But we got to plug that hole in the middle and at least slow him down.
That was Derico Harris, who is 5'8", 165-pound senior. And so that is best run of the night for them, but only the fourth play. On the third play of the night, they went 78 yards with a kind of a wounded duck type pass that Falk was able to catch and turn and run the final 50 yards for the touchdown. This is going to be a quarterback keeper all the way. Got a little bit of daylight, but a really nice play inside to hold him to 3 yards.
Yeah, that was Harrison Mims, who just latched on and rode him all the way to the ground. Had a little help at the end from 17 Chapel Stickler to finish him off. But that play for a second, I thought we were looking at another 10 to 12-yard gain.
Yeah, so it was a big hole. And if you watch Providence football, one of the things they want to do, the defensive line, hold their blocks, get their blocks, and really open it up for the linebackers. And so you'll hear Mims' name quite a bit because that's kind of made, this is a defense made for that linebacker if they're able to make plays. So it's second down and 8. McKenzie looks like he's going to keep it. He's got some good room once again, and that's going to be close to a first down. Probably looks like they're going to give it to him, and so that's 8 yards. And so something on the inside that Highland Home has seen is really start working for him.
Yeah, really good read there by the quarterback McKenzie on the just a slight fake of the pitch, and he saw daylight, took advantage of it. We had number 40 there on the tackle for the Eagles. It's listed as Michael Shivers, but I don't think that's Michael Shivers. I'll have to check on that. Tyson Smith. That's Tyson. I don't know on the roster I have why it says that. I thought that looked like Tyson.
So it's first game for us as well. So we've got to figure out who the players are and things like that. So Highland Home going to do an inside handoff around the side, get it to Shepard. An excellent play by Providence, and hold him. Tackle for a loss. Looks like we're going to start a 4-yard tackle for a loss.
Yeah, really good discipline by our defense there, especially number 10, our leader on defense, and really probably the leader, emotional leader of this football team, Harrison Mims. And I tell you what, he's an easy kid to follow. I don't care what he's playing. I want him on my team.
He's a very good, very smart player as well. Plays fullback on offense, and this is his third year, I believe, playing linebacker, and he's got a lot of experience. So McKenzie going to go back up and tries to step up, eludes a tackler, eludes another tackler, and they're going to get him. He's going to get about a 2-yard gain, but I'll tell you, I'll take a 2-yard gain over what could happen.
No question. Really good pressure there initially by Connor Odom that made him step up in the pocket, and we had another opportunity to sack him for instead of a 4 or 5 yard loss, really probably a 7 or 8 yard loss. But fortunately, the defense saw that, crashed in, and I don't know exactly who made that tackle, but there were several guys in on that. So good pressure initially by Odom, though, to make that play.
The nice part is, even though we got some positive yardage, it is 3rd down and 13. So we want to keep our eye on 4, Shepard, who's coming toward your camera, and then Falk, who's in the slot up at the top. So Mims is going to try to come in. He's going to roll it. They want to get it to Shepard, and that's an easy pass to just kind of throw up there because he's 6'4", and wasn't a good pass. We couldn't do a whole lot with it. Now it brings up decision time for Highland Home. Going to be 4th down and probably 6.
Yeah, really good defense. That's what we want to do. We want to keep the play in front of us. 23, Ryland Banner did a good job of doing that, along with Gabe Pemberton. And if we can keep it in front of them, we'll be able to make those kind of plays.
So Highland Home's going to go for it. It looks like on 4th down right at the 50-yard line. Falk is in the slot, very similar to what we saw in the last play. And not sure the coach is really talking it up. There's 14 seconds to go on the play clock. Looks like they are going to go for it. McKenzie's just going to go straight back. He wants to get Shepard over the middle. Couldn't get him. Great pressure. He throws it down.
Wow.
He actually had Shepard there. Had Shepard really known what he was doing. So Providence holds. They'll get the ball back at the 50. And I think that's one where McKenzie's going to look at it and think, man, if he just took one extra second, a little better pass, that almost could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, he could have. Fortunately, we had enough pressure on him that he did have to get rid of it a little quicker than he wanted to. Zach Vinson, number 18, who was a first-year football player last year. When I say first-year football player, I mean literally he never played the game before.
Transferred in and played football for the first time.
And was a really good athlete and is learning it. And here, because of that good defensive stand, we start out with some good field position. Now let's make them pay.
So third time Providence has had the ball in the first quarter. There's under a minute to go. Great starting position at the 50. Let's see what they can do with it. Mims goes in motion. Pittman's going to throw it out to him. And might want to get on that ball just in case. That was really, really close. But you can see what they're trying to do is get Mims the ball a little bit and get him out there in space. And Pittman just one of those where he kind of threw it low. And Mims, again, trying to go with one hand, maybe needs to get both hands around it.
Yeah, tough cat ball there to catch. He gave his best effort. You know, they do want to get Mims on the edge. He's not the fastest guy, but he's a tough runner, and he can break a tackle or two and turn something into a big play, one of these little dumps out to him. So hopefully one of those will work in a minute.
Well, Providence is going to want to control the game as well and not get into a quick scoring because that's going to be for Highland Homes. So Banner goes up the middle and give him just about 1 yard, 2 yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 at the clock winding down, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Keith let the clock run out. There's 31 seconds. Well, he's got to run a play because the clock keeper put the play clock on like a half second. So there's 21 seconds to go in the first quarter, 3rd down and 7. Pittman in the shotgun. He's going to fake inside, going to go over the middle, and a great catch by Calvin McClintock, I think.
Oh, that's number 20. That's actually Chapel Stickler.
Yeah, an excellent catch.
No question. And the concentration and really the guts to go across the middle to concentrate and make that play. What a nice play by Chapel Stickler. Maybe that'll give Pittman a little confidence, too, when he does drop back to let it go. When you've got receivers making those kind of plays, so that makes your job a lot easier.
It does, and he saw the pass and kind of threw it sidearmed, and he wasn't exactly open, but it was a good pass, and Stickler was able to kind of one-hand it in, and 3 seconds to go. I'd be surprised if they run a play. It's the old nobody seems to know what's going on routine that's going on out there.
They are not starting the play clock, although I thought it would have started after the first down and the ball was marked.
Maybe one of those things where maybe they can't zero out the play clock. They have to let it go. So we'll have to check the old button on the play clock in between. Coach
Keith ran down to the line judge and was pointing to the clock, and he's confused. I'm confused.
Well, in a odd twist, they put 3 minutes up on the clock, so we've gone from 3 seconds to go. Now we have 3 minutes to go, so kind of interesting. So opening night for the scoreboard operator as well. So the good news is Providence is 2 for 4 on 3rd down and converted right there. And the clock going down, and I don't think they're going to run a play, and going to get out of the first quarter with Highland Home with an electric 78-yard pass to Keldrick Falk, the Florida State commit. And that's the difference in the game right now. But Providence moving for the first time. And we'll have the second quarter for you coming up. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
How does the bank make you feel at home?
It's actually looking forward to going inside a bank again, where there's a unique feeling of hospitality that's hard to find today, anywhere. It's where they know my name and they know what I need. It's just different than any other bank. Oh, And they even know my favorite kind of cookie.
Yep, that's how.
Personal attention and unexpected hospitality from Riverbank and Trust. Experience it.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
Your family's health is vitally important to all of us here at Center Drugs in Enterprise in Daleville.
We provide personal service and answers to your questions because you're our neighbors.
It's so easy to become overwhelmed by what you read, see, or hear, and that's why Center Drugs is here to make things clear for you
And to make things as easy as possible. So give us a call or come by and see us.
at Center Drugs in Enterprise or in Daleville.
At Enterprise Paint and Industrial, we carry a full line of Benjamin Moore paints, along with automotive paints and accessories by Sherwin-Williams and ProSpray. You will find a great selection of power tools by Makita and many name brand air tools, accessories, woodworking equipment, and hardware. We are your factory authorized service center and full line repair shop for your electrical and air tools. Newly remodeled, locally owned and operated, Enterprise Paint and Industrial, more than a paint store.
Back for the second quarter of Providence Christian High School. Mike Bridges alongside Corey Driggers bringing you the action. It is first down and 10 for Providence in Highland Home territory for the first time. Pittman's going to go back to pass and throws it deep down the field. And yeah, they're going to throw a flag. And Pittman just kind of threw it up there, kind of similar to what we saw McKenzie do. And it looked like Stickler was going to get it, and it just kind of went through him, but he was interfered there.
Yeah, really nicely thrown spiral. It was underthrown, which sometimes as a quarterback, those are the most successful
we
throws
saw that
and catches.
in the first quarter.
Certainly. But a really pretty ball that he threw there, underthrown a little bit. Stickler was doing a really good job of coming back after that ball, being aggressive and not just sitting back. So he was going to make that catch, I certainly believe. And a clear interference as the defender reached out and grabbed his right arm as he was trying to make the catch.
So Providence gets the first break of the game on plays that we similarly see not called. That was called in their favor, so it puts the ball down at the 23-yard line. And so by far the best drive of the game so far for Providence. First down and 10 at the 24-yard line, under 12 minutes to go as we just started the second quarter. So Banner in motion, going to be the inside handoff we saw some success with earlier. It looks like there was a fumble, and it looks like Providence got on top of it. Not sure if he was down. Looks like they're going to give him the forward progress of the fumble, which actually works in Providence's favor. And so give him 4 yards on the carry and 3 yards on the fumble. Brings up a second down and 3.
Yeah, Mims on the carry there. And he coughed it up. Fortunately, one of our linemen had his head up and paid attention, jumped on the ball. We're able to keep this drive going. We can't have those kind of mistakes that we had so many times last year and even the year before at times that killed drives.
Absolutely. And it may have been Michael Shivers that got on that ball. So Pittman's going to go back to pass again. It's got a guy open, and Mims was just kind of held up a little bit, and no flag. The ball, though, just a little overthrown.
Yeah, hard to see what happened there. Definitely Mims got tangled up. I don't know if it was over his own feet or if he stumbled over one of their players or hell, whatever it was. He broke out, was a little off balance. I think that was going to be the timing looked really good on that play, and he was, he would have been open. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, the ball just slightly overthrown there, and that's one that Pittman wants to kind of put it into that pocket a little bit. So now it's third down and 6. Providence, most of their third downs have been long like this. Third down and 6 looks like a pass as Pittman's in the shotgun, so we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if it's 4 down territory. It's going to be a screen pass that just gets tipped at the line. It was set up nicely, but just a little bit better play there by Highland Home.
It really was. Well executed. Our linemen, of course, just let the jail break, let them go, and trying to set up the screen, which we were doing well. Unfortunately, C.J. May, number 10 for the Flying Squadron, was able to get in and get a hand on it as Pittman let it go.
How many 2A teams have a 6'6" defensive end and a 6'2" defensive end at 2A? And so that's a nice luxury they have at Highland Home, and it paid off right there. So 4th down and 6. Providence not going for the field goal. Going to try to see if they can tie it or take the lead here. Need 6%, and that's going to fall short, and Highland Home going to take over at their own 19.
Yeah, he wanted to get rid of that a little too quick. Again, a little inexperience there. And, it's going to be fun to watch Craig Pittman grow into this role as a quarterback, not only this year, but for the next 4 years. But right there, just probably let that one go a little bit too quick. If he holds it a little longer and lets his receiver run that route, we may have a chance there. But he did have pressure on him, not knocking him. He's doing a good job of standing in there right now and getting his feet up under him. And, again, good things are going to happen this year from Craig Pittman.
Yeah, when Anderson came over the sidelines, they were kind of talking to him, but I don't think he even had a chance to really run his entire route before that was thrown, unless he ran the wrong route. So Providence turns it over on downs, and Highland Home with their 3rd time with the ball, and just a straight up the middle, and that looks like it's going to be no gain. Excellent by the Providence defense, and I'll say, and Providence has had the ball a lot in the first quarter, don't have much to show for it, but Highland Home, this is only the 3rd time they've had the ball. I think you take that any day of the week with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter.
I agree, and obviously, one play, and this game is 0-0 still, so Highland Home is not executed on offense like I was assuming that they would with the talent, the size that they have. Good job by number 40, sophomore Tyson Smith, with the penetration there to make that stop.
Okay, so here they're coming out in a design that we saw quite a bit in that second series with Falk right up here close in the kind of spread out a little bit, and that opens up the ball. Yeah, it was out, so we'll see if they were down or not.
Oh!
Yeah, it looked like his knees were down, but that's really unfortunate for Providence. It was a good run there inside for about 8 yards.
Yeah, wow. I thought that one came out as he was coming down, but my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, Mike. I can tell you that. But, yeah, big hole on the right side. Not sure who had the ball. I don't know who was running the ball then. Once it came out, I quit looking at him and was looking at who was trying to make the cover. That was Grant Baker, who was there to cover the ball up.
So it's 3rd down and 2, and Providence has had some decent luck on 3rd down so far in the game. And we'll see what they're going to do here. They kind of just flipped the formation. What we've seen, Shepard is near to us, and Falk and so just going to run it straight up the field and give it to Bryce McKenzie. He's able to spin off of it, gets a big gain, see if they can get him down the sidelines, and Mims just able to get him on the ankles, and that one right there is could be a backbreaker for you here in the first half.
Yeah, that's one of those that I got a feeling we'll probably watch that one in the film room more than once this week, because you had several guys who had an opportunity, 2 in particular, that had their hands on him and just did not wrap him up. And our coach is next to us here in the box. I heard multiple times, wrap him up. And, basic fundamental football, flag on the play, maybe this will help out.
Well, I didn't really see a flag. You can see it way on the other side, so I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about, unless it's going to be some sort of sideline warning or sideline or something like that. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a dead ball as opposed to being during it. What McKenzie did is he was wrapped up. It was going to be maybe a 1-yard gain, and he just was able to spin his way out of it, and there was just nobody on this side of the field as Shepard had gone down. And give Mims credit and the other guys credit, because they were able to run him down. They could have easily given up on that play. They didn't, and they hold it to about a 36-yard run if it stands. Again, as I've said for 4 years, anytime the officials get together, nothing good comes of it, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah, and number 3, Bryce McKenzie, the quarterback for Highland Home, obviously a tough kid, continuing to turn those legs, do just what you ask of a quarterback. You run, you push, and Rennie running back till the whistle blows, and he certainly did that and paid off big time. Looks like we're about to get the call here.
It almost looks like illegal participation on there, so maybe they had 12 guys. Again, I don't – unless it's a sideline, some sort of participation on the sideline, because it was way over there. So it's almost like it was a dead ball. Maybe somebody came off the sideline.
I'm not sure. He pointed to the Highland Home side, and then they walked it off.
Right. So my guess is it's illegal participation during the play. When the play was ending, I bet you a player came off the sideline is what I'm thinking.
Well, Coach Keith, doesn't know either. He's trying to find out what's going on. So.
Right. And to be honest with you, when we do these games, a lot of times it's our best guess because they're not mic'd up, so they don't say what the call is. That across the chest is illegal participation. Typically, you see that on the defense because it's usually 12 men on the field. Mm-hmm. You would think it was 12 men, but if they call it, if there's 12 men to start the play, it would be no play. That's why I'm thinking somebody came off the field at the end. So that's what we're going to have to go with at this point. And afterwards, when we talk to the official, we're just kidding. We won't talk to the officials after the game. So it's going to be an inside handoff straight up the gut, and it's going to go for about 4 yards. And Highland Home at times starts to look like they have it. And here again is one of those where it looks like they're starting to put it together a little bit.
Yeah, they are. It looked like 51 Charlie McGee had his helmet in there making that play. A couple of other Eagles as well. Tyson Smith, I think, was in there as well. McGee's a linebacker that's giving a little breather to Harrison Mims, it looks like right now.
It is a humid night, and so it's going to be very hard for him to play all plays. So McKenzie's going to go back and out pass to Falk. Now we're going to see if we're going to be able to get him down at 6'6", 250 pounds. Just kind of throw the ball out there to him and give him 15 yards, 16 yards on that play.
Yeah, his length there. I mean, Ryland Banner, 23 for the Eagles, tried to come in and make the tackle, and he was just able to push him away with those long arms. Fortunately, C.J. Sullivan, 14, took the low route, took the knees, hit him low, and was able to force him out of bounds. But, I mean, why would you not do that at Highland Home? That's a high percentage pass. Why not get it into the hands of your guy who's 6'6" and 250 pounds?
And going to Florida State, so he's got the athleticism to play on the outside at 6'6", play defensive end. That's what he's going to play when he's at Florida State, but you can see his athletic ability. So a bunch set on the left. It's going to be a little either a keeper, and that's what McKenzie's going to do. And once again, he spins out of it, and he gets down some big yardage down to just about the 8-yard line. Looks like they're going to mark him out at the 10, but that's another big gain. Give him 16 yards, and McKenzie's starting to get a little bit of daylight out there. And like we said, he's 5'10", 190 pounds. He's very hard to get down. Looks like a strong kid.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to go as a missed tackle in the books, but I want to give McKenzie credit for that breaking that tackle. That was a really tough run and positive yardage for the Flying Squadron, and they're getting closer and closer, of course, to our end zone with this drive.
They are, and it looked like Tyson Smith had him and just was not able to bring him down. Like we said, it is a hot, humid night, and there's a timeout on the field right now, and 8:27 to go. Highland Home leading 6-0 and starting to knock on the door at the 10-yard line. And Highland Home with really their best drive of the game. The first drive they scored on looked like the Highland Home player was down. He did fumble it, got it down inside the 5, and this is by far the best drive of the game for them.
Oh, they're saying Eagles ball. Eagles ball.
Well, I know we're doing a Providence Christian High School broadcast, but I don't know how much more down he could be when the ball came out. But it looks like the runner is hurt, and also the Providence player was kind of underneath him, and I'm guessing he made the play there.
Yeah, I think that was 13 Austin Crittenton for Highland Home on the ball carrier. I'm not sure if that's him that's down. I see a 3, but I'm not sure if it's the number 3 or number 13 down for the Flying Squadron.
So by far the best drive for Highland Home. They had the long touchdown pass on the 3rd down of the first drive. And a second drive, they put a couple of first downs together. This one's first time that it looked like they were kind of taking control of the offensive line, and that fumble is really going to come back to haunt them here if Providence gets the ball back inside the 5-yard line. In the jamboree that they did with Pike County last week, they did have some turnover problems, and so that sometimes you can look at it as a scrimmage, but other times you can see that could be kind of a little bit of a problem. So trying to figure out who that is as he's going off. Looks like he has a leg injury or an ankle injury. It is Austin Crittenton, and so he's not putting much weight on one of his legs there, on his right leg. So really hope that that's not anything serious, but that may be what caused him to fumble it. And Providence dodging a bullet and taking over at their own 3-yard line.
Eagles recover the loose ball. They'll have it first down and 10 yards to go. Ball between playing at their own 2.5-yard line.
Need that big offensive line to step up here and get us out of this hole.
So Pittman in the shotgun, and it's going to just do a little inside handoff, go straight up the middle, and gets maybe a half yard there, and that's about it. And Providence has been able to kind of control the ball just a little bit, but this is where they need to put some first downs together.
Yeah, 55, Jaquez Osborne, who is a freshman at 5'9", 225, plugging that hole pretty quickly there.
So 2nd down and 9, they gave Banner 1 yard on that play. Now we're under center. Again, we saw that a little bit on the second drive from Pittman. And so it's going to be an inside handoff, and that's got a little bit of a hole there and looked like it had an opportunity and going to be down at the 10, but a good play to get them out of the shadow of their goal line and give them a really good opportunity here on 3rd down.
It really was. A lot of moving parts on that play, and I can tell you I lost the ball. I was following Pittman. I didn't know who had the ball from this vantage point. Calvin McClintock, number 4, with some more positive yardage. He's going to continue to get the ball in his hands more and more if he continues to produce in this manner.
Well, he's got 3 touches, and he's got 16 yards and 16 hard-fought yards. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4, maybe 3.5. The clock's running down, play clock down to 4. Underneath center once again. Pittman going to go with the inside handoff straight up the gut. It looks like it has an opportunity here. And let's see, they're going to put it up at the 15. So excellent running there. And it looks like maybe Harrison Mims ran that up there. But first down, exactly what Providence needed.
Yeah, give credit to our offensive line there. We got several guys. Michael Shivers has been doing a good job tonight. Mason Colleague, big guy. Parker Jernigan, 62. Really good push on that play and a quick handoff. I mean, Mims had that ball in no time. And we know how tough of a runner he is.
So Pittman back in the shotgun. Hasn't had much success passing, and going to keep it on the ground straight up the middle. And again, just give him about 4 yards there. And so they found something there in the middle. I think they're going to give him 5 yards, and absolutely what they need to do here. And what would this do for their confidence if they could go 97 yards?
Yeah, no question. We've just got to continue to do as we're doing, executing, making sure we protect the ball, run some clock, and that would really wear Highland Home out for this long of a drive if we can continue to put this together.
So it's 2nd down and 6. Give him 4 yards on that play. Going to have just a little bit of a motion. Going to go inside handoff for a first time touching the ball, and that's going to be no gain.
Yeah, Grant Baker. Grant's got good speed. Coach want to get the ball in his hands to see what he can do here. Unfortunately, it wouldn't matter whose hands it was in at that point. That was good penetration by Highland Home and really nowhere to go there. And it looks like we're going to talk about this.
So, again, I think we're going to have the Heat timeout at 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And second quarter has had some fireworks. Highland Home going straight down the field, fumbling inside their own 5-yard line. Providence getting a first down out to their 20. And they're in the midst of that drive. It'll be 3rd down and 6 when we come back. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number 1 source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
3rd down and 6 from Providence following a fumble recovery. It's going to be a pass. Pittman straight back. And he throws it out, got a guy, and just missed him out to the right. And if he could get it a little bit more over his shoulder, he might have had an opportunity there trying to get it to Stickler.
Yeah, intended for 20 Stickler. Now, Stickler has really good speed. He is an excellent baseball player. He shows that speed in baseball. He also runs track for Providence. He can fly. And we've seen multiple times we've tried to get the ball in his hands. And, another pretty thrown ball by Pittman, just a little off target.
And Shepard was on the coverage there, and he's 6'4", so it's not like it's easy to get the ball over the top of him. But he was open, so I think there is some opportunities. Mims in to punt, and this is the first true punt of the game for Providence, and he gets some good bounce, gets it down to about the 34-yard line. And one of the odd things sometimes that you see in college or high school, rarely do you see it in college, used to in the 70s and 80s, but the starting quarterback is back returning punts. And not 100% sure that I'd want my starting quarterback back there.
Yeah, that's definitely a little odd. A 46-yard punt there, I believe it was, by Harrison Mims. Really got a good foot on that one and really got a good roll out of it. Good positional punting again, keeping it away from the receiver there.
So we'll take a look at Highland Home now, their fourth opportunity here, and struck lightning on the third play of the game with a 78-yard touchdown, and then had a really good drive last time out and drove the ball about 75 yards but fumbled inside the 5. So we'll see if they found something on offense or if that was just a little bit of an aberration. We got a guy, there's Shepard, wide open, and just kind of lost it. And I'll be honest with you, that could have been one of those where it was in the lights and the ball was just a little bit underthrown, but he was open by 5 yards.
Maybe so, and there's some thank yous going up after that one, because really nice little movement there by the quarterback. Just a little actually he was throwing the quick screen, and our cornerback bit on it, and he was wide open for a touchdown.
And honestly, in high school, you don't see the ball thrown 25, 30 yards down the field very often. So just that little bit of movement thinks you're going to see your typical 15-yard, and Shepard was wide open. Mark that one down. That might come back to hurt him, or we might come back and see it again. Here's a little inside move, a big hit. We'll see if they call it a catch. One official was calling it no catch, and it was a bang-bang play, and I'm just telling you, if we had replay in high school, that might be a different call.
Really nice closing speed there by our DBs. I know Calvin McClintock was one. I don't know if Harrison Mims may have been on that as well, but Calvin McClintock really laying the wood there. Nice play. And I tell you, the next time that receiver comes across the middle, he'll be remembering that.
And that was a play right there where Taryn Brown got the ball, and it looked like it was going to be an actual good play because he cut inside and he had a little bit of room, had an opportunity, but really got the wood handed to him. And they're going to call it no catch. It's probably pretty close to getting 2 feet down.
Yeah.
But it's 3rd down and 10. We'll see what Highland Home has. We've got Falk, and looks like we're going to have a timeout here by Highland Home. And this is one of those games where it's the opening game. You look at Highland Home, and they look the part. They go down the field a couple of times, but they're just discombobulated just a little bit offensively.
Yeah, and, right there, even that play, we just saw the throw. I mean, a perfect throw. Great throw by the quarterback on the money. Just didn't work out. Then throw before that, a little underthrown, but they had our DB beat. Really going to be a big gain, 20, 30-yard gain, maybe even a touchdown if he catches it, But they're shooting themselves in the foot, thankfully, for the Eagles anyway.
Right, and Providence is in it with 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, down 6-0, facing a big 3rd down. The defense has not really played bad. They gave up that long pass, which was really just a prayer that was thrown up by McKenzie. And you had an unbelievable athlete on the other end of it who went in for the touchdown. And we haven't really said Falk's name that much. And we knew that Keldrick Falk coming in was going to be a focal point defensively. We haven't really, said much about him on there. They kind of run away from him. So they've kind of kept that in check. We thought that Shepard would be very good wide receiver, and we might see a little bit more from him. Had an opportunity on that long pass right there. So Providence has done a good job offensively to keep them off the board. It's just on the Providence offensive side, it's still a lot of that 4 and 5 yards, and got to find some big plays this year. So here we go, 3rd down and 10. McKenzie's going to go back and going to throw it up to Shepard once again. He doesn't know where the ball is. Actually, he was throwing that to Falk. Falk didn't really know where that was, and we've got a flag on the play. You would think it would be holding, but in the high school game, any number of things can come out on these flags, so we'll see. It is a holding on Highland Home, so their 4th possession really was not. It was by far their worst possession so far, but give Providence credit. They dodged a couple of bullets and then held when they needed to.
Yeah, it looked like, as you mentioned, being discombobulated a little bit, looked like a miscommunication on that route. The receiver, a little stutter step maybe, tried to break it off, and McKenzie overthrew him pretty significantly there. We did have good coverage on it. We didn't bite on the route that the receiver did actually run as he was trying to stutter step. We didn't bite on that. Ryland Banner with good coverage was right where you wanted him to be.
Yeah, McKenzie kind of did a little fake when he was down and not quite sure who he thought he was faking because it was really only one player on that side of the field, and it was Falk who, just from what we've seen so far, doesn't look like he's a great route runner, and but he is effective. So this was an excellent opportunity here for Providence. It wasn't much of a punt. And then one of the rare things that I've ever seen, the punter then took on one of the Providence rushers, and they threw each other down to the ground. You don't see that very often. So could you imagine the NFL if an NFL player ran up and he and the punter got into it and threw him down? But on the other end of the field, Providence gets the ball at the 42-yard line. Excellent field position considering where Highland Home was kicking from. So with 4:20 to go, the offense really needs to put some plays together.
Yeah, we obviously want the points here if we can before the half, but we certainly don't want to give it back to them quick enough that they have time to score.
So 4:21 to go. Pittman in the familiar. He drops the ball, though, and smartly just jumps on it, and a drive that we just talked about that hopefully they can put a few things together starts with a drop, and so now it's going to be behind the chain, second down and about 14.
Well, looking at the silver lining, at least we recovered it, but that's not the way you want to start a drive where you're trying to get some points before the half. It looked like we almost had a false start there, too. Somebody started pretty early on this end for us, but they didn't throw the flag.
So we'll take the fumble over the false start, so it's only second down and 14. So here's a different formation that we've seen. We've got a slot and a wide receiver, running back, and a wing back. We'll see what Providence is going to do. It's going to be a straight pass, and he's got a guy wide open and just overthrows him. And Harrison Mims, if he could have just dropped it in there, had an opportunity for a big gain, may not have gone for a touchdown, but would have gone deep into Highland Home territory.
Yeah, that play was there. And it's been there one other time, too, and we haven't quite connected on it. Obviously, our coaches see that, and we know Mims is tough and can make that kind of play. We've got to give him a chance, though. But, you know, here I am saying that in the comfort of the AC up here, 50 yards from the action. And C.J. May, number 10, who's 6'2" and 210, wasn't coming at me as he was Pittman.
And he's been active tonight, too, as a sophomore, so for Highland Home. So, you know, when Falk goes off to Florida State, they've still got good defensive players. It's a good program. So Pittman kind of double pumps. He gets hit and has an opportunity for an interception. So they're going to say it's no catch. And Pittman, I don't know what he saw at first. He held it and then went to throw again and had his arm hit by our old friend C.J. May.
Yeah, had a little hesitation there, as you said, and then he underthrew it when he did get rid of it. And you said there was some contact with the arm. Okay, I didn't see that, so that may explain the underthrow there. But we didn't come back after that one. Our receivers didn't pick that up, and we're fortunate that ball was not picked.
So there's 4:21 to go when Providence had the ball and talked about putting a couple of plays together. And 55 seconds later, they're punting fourth down and 13, but it shows you with that dropped play, that's what really hurt you. Now this has an opportunity. It's fumbled. Bryce McKenzie. Providence gets on it. They are going to give it to Providence starting at the Highland Home 22, and this is the second break of the game. And going Providence way, they have to capitalize on it.
No question, no question. This is, I mean, you can't get a better gift. I mean, Christmas morning here in August, that's number 53, Tyler Wilkes on the recovery. You mentioned having a quarterback back there. He's certainly used to having the ball in his hands, but not used to being the one that catches it. It went right through his hands. Nothing funky about that. I mean, it was just a straight-on kick.
He just looked up just to see where the defenders were coming on, and there was nobody within 5 yards of him. And just looked up, and the ball got on quicker. A break for Providence, able to get on at the 22, and now see what they can do with it. And I did notice that Parker Jernigan was kind of limping. He plays on the offensive line, so let's see what happens here. It's that similar tight formation that we see from Providence that we've seen for the first time in a long time under center. So it's going to be a straight handoff to Mims. He does a good job of kind of dancing around to the side, and so give him just about 4 yards on that play. And so Highland Home, once again, like we've talked about, just can't kind of put it together. From the Jamboree, they had some turnovers and things like that, and so it's kind of come with them here. And 6-0 with under 3 minutes to go, and Providence inside the 20-yard line. Mims tries it one more time up the middle. That didn't work. And so now that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, tried to go a little tempo there, be a little quicker, ran the same exact play, and, you know, you go back to the well so many times. Didn't work there, but, you know, it has been successful. Mims ran it on the last drive successfully, and we tried to go back twice in a row there. Didn't quite work. You mentioned Jernigan limping a little bit. I can see he looks like he's still grimacing a little but toughening out. We're already down one lineman tonight that we were expecting to start, so we don't want to lose Parker Jernigan at this point.
No, and that could be a little bit of that, maybe not being able to get off some push on it. And so this looks like it's a third down, and they're calling it 7. Looks like 6 to me. And now Providence is going to call a timeout. Coach Keith knows that this is a pivotal part of the game. 2 minutes to go, deep in Highland Home territory, and down just 6-0. They've got to get something out of this. So we'll see what happens the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Okay, here's a big sequence for Providence Christian. 3rd down and 7 inside the 20-yard line. And kind of an interesting play. Going to be an inside handoff. And got some good speed into the end zone. And let's see if it counts. They are going to give him the touchdown. And so that is an excellent run there by Chappell Stickler. And he goes in for the touchdown. And Providence has a chance to take the lead. The reason I was hesitant is there was by far movement.
Certainly, and it was by a guy in the backfield that was not on the line, and he moved sideways. He didn't move forward. I don't know if that's why they didn't throw the flag. Whatever the case, we got signals on the board for number 20, Chappell Stick, on a little misdirection right up the gut, and showed that speed. He had a little gap, hit it hard, and here we go. This is number 7, Leighton Hagler, who's filling in for Davis Bolton, kicking. This will be his first attempt, I think, in his career.
Oh, and the ball was kind of... Yeah, that just didn't really work out. He kind of hesitated. It was going to be blocked, hesitated again. It was going to be blocked. And so here we stand, 6-all.
Yeah, number 2, Pittman, the holder there, dropped it, then put it back up, and Hagler was confused as to what to do. And fortunately, they didn't pick it up and go the other way with it.
Right. In either one of the kicks, had he tried to kick, it would have been blocked because guys were right there on top of it. So Providence gets a break on the fumbled punt. We're able to take advantage in for a touchdown, and we're tied at 6. And we won't talk about the fact that I just don't think in the backfield you can take a step and stop and then take another one. I think you got to be set for there. But, hey, we can let Highland Home send that one in and talk about it. We've got a good one here, 6-all. Still 2 minutes to go, though, in the second quarter, so Highland Home will have plenty of opportunity here to see what they can do with the ball.
Yeah, and this is the first time, obviously, we've kicked off. I'm interested to see what we do here. Again, it looks like it's going to be Hagler that's going to be kicking for us. And, you know, we've seen us do the squib kick. You've seen us do the onside kick at times when we didn't think that would be coming, of course. And are we going to try to kick it deep and put it in one of their athletes' hands? I wouldn't think so with only 2 minutes left.
So Shepard is the deep man, and we've seen him a couple of times on the offensive side. They've kept him in check, though. But he did have an opportunity for a good gain with a ball that was underthrown to him. So 2 minutes to go, 6-all. Let's see what Hagler's kick, and it's going to be just a little squib kick, and at times that has worked. This time it didn't. Highland Home obviously going to be very, very aware that those things happen, but we have seen it where it's worked in Providence's favor. But the one thing I will just say that I don't like giving a team the ball 60 yards away with 1:45 to go.
Yeah, that's our defense has got a job to do here, and we certainly hope they can bow up and shut this down and go into the half with a 6-6 tie. That would be a huge win for us at this point. So our defense has got to be fired up after that sequence by the offense and scoring there, stealing those 6 points with that turnover. Hopefully they'll play disciplined, but really get after here and hold Highland Home.
They did make them pay for the fumbled punt, and that's what you want to have happen when you have the opportunities that you have. And so Providence now on the defensive end, and the defense has really not played. They've been outgained, but they really haven't played bad. Highland Home hasn't had a lot of big plays. They've had 2 runs where McKenzie's able to spin away and get some good runs on them. We're able to take advantage and got a turnover and almost had another turnover. So you can really look at the defense and say they haven't played that bad, but we can also look at Highland Home and think in a couple of weeks they are probably going to look a little bit better than they do tonight.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned this before. They played Pike Lib, who's new to Alabama High School, coming from the Private School Association this year, in a jamboree last weekend. I mean, that's a big deal to have that week of being able to do that live action against another team. And, you know, you would think they would be a little sharper than they are right now, but that's a little heads up on them for the Eagles, who this is our first time. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but the refs have been talking, and there may be clock problems. I'm not sure what's happening.
Well, the clock's stuck at 25. I think it's supposed to start at 30. Am I correct?
I was thinking 25, but between high school and college and
Pro and
basketball and
right.
who knows what else. I can't
Right.
keep up.
We need to let everybody know they just need the same set of rules everywhere because it's getting too hard for us to keep up with them. So the play clock is rolling, and it's under 20 seconds. Bryce McKenzie in the shotgun. He's going to go back to pass and hit one just a little bit over the middle and give him about 10 yards or so, 11 yards. And they start off this series exactly what they want to do and get a quick gain.
Yeah, I believe that was Javian McMillan for the Flying Squadron number 9. A quick slot receiver there. Harrison Mims did a good job of being able to stay with him and take him down pretty quickly. Here we go, 1st and 10.
So McKenzie back, and it looks like he wanted to kind of do a double throw. Just kind of throws it up and gets it to Shepard. Shepard gets away and get out of bounds and turn what could have been not much into 15, 16 yards.
Yeah, big missed tackle there by the Eagles. Good effort, but really, again, got to wrap up there. One of those first game things. You hope that improves as the season goes along and able to turn that into a really big gain. And here with 1:31, the Flying Squadron is on the move, and we just need them to do what they've done so far, shoot themselves in the foot.
Right, and they've done exactly what they've needed to do. There's only there's 1:30, so in 15 seconds they've got 21 yards. So McKenzie's going to go straight up the middle, and he's fighting for more yards and ends up turning what looked like about a 4-yard gain into an 8-yard gain, bringing up a 2nd down and 2. The clock running, and there's plenty of time.
Yeah, Highland Home taking a time out here, it looks like, to gather their thoughts because they do have 2 timeouts left. So why not be safe? You only got 1:19 left on the clock. And going to see what they can put together to try to punch it in here before the half.
When you look at Highland Home on the offensive side, they're going to give other teams problems because you can put 6'6" Falk out there, you can put 6'4" Shepard out there, and if you do nothing else, you can have them run 5, 8, 10 yards, and you can just throw it up to them. And that was a situation where McKenzie wanted to fake to the right and then throw back to the left. It wasn't there, and he just kind of flipped it out there. And Shepard, he can throw it up, and Shepard's going to get it. So not sure really what Providence is going to be able to do to stop that. Again, defense has not really been that much of a problem tonight in a 6-all game. But you just kind of get, this is one of those games where you kind of get the feeling that Highland Home hadn't put it all together. And they might, and when they do, it could start to snowball a little bit. So that's why you needed to get that touchdown. Best case scenario going in, tied at 6.
Yeah, and you give our coaches some credit, give our players some credit on keeping them in check to a large degree. It looks like here on that last play, for example, we've been trying to keep them contained. We don't want them to get to the edges. But then you saw McKenzie for probably the 2nd or 3rd time, who had a lot of running room in the middle because we're trying to protect those edges to make sure they don't get outside.
And he has been a difference maker. I mean, you just say that tonight that McKenzie has been a difference maker for Highland Home. And so now Providence needs to have someone other than Harrison Mims step up and make a play here. So McKenzie's just going to go out, and he's going to throw it up. And there again, kind of what we talked about. And it looks like we're going to have a hold, kind of look like a wrestling match there for a second. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't a hold here on Highland Home.
Yeah, again, we were asking for them to shoot themselves in the foot, and that appears to be what happened because there was not going to be a sack on that play. He had the ball. He got it out of his hands quickly, and I believe Josiah Moncrief, number 85 for the Eagles, was the player who was tackled by one of the Highland Home players.
And give him credit because he continued on, and the play was away from him. He could have easily just stood up, but his extra effort right there, and you can make that a splash play, puts them behind the chains, and we've seen their kicking game appears to be somewhat non-existent, so they're going to have to score a touchdown or they're not going to score. So now they got Trips out here to the right, Falk at 6'6" there in the kind of the second position, and they got Shepard on the left. And so McKenzie's going to go straight down, wants to hit Falk, and just not a very accurate. So my thought process here, if they call that, would have to be on Falk because Falk's kind of pushed the Providence away.
I certainly didn't see number 11, who I thought had pretty good coverage for us, Grant Baker, do anything that I think is against the rules. But
right. And it's not even a catchable ball, so not 100% sure what's going on. I know that the officials have microphones so they can talk to each other, so we'll see what they're going to call here.
Well, Coach Keith doesn't appear happy, so I'm afraid this is going to go against us. And, you know, you mentioned the catchable ball thing. We learned the hard way a few years ago in Pike County. That rule doesn't apply in high school, unfortunately. And, yeah, this one is against us, according to the one who matters, the referee.
Now, Providence has gotten 3 breaks so far in the first half, and this is really not a very good break for them on this part. So it's going to be a 15-yard pass interference in what Falk really initiated that contact. And so that's kind of deflating a little bit because it takes it back from a second down in probably at about the 35-yard line to a first down now at the 20-yard line. But again, like we talked about, they're going to have to score a touchdown. There's 1:04 to go, and they really don't seem to have much of a kicking game. So McKenzie back, looking right the whole way, and he's kind of under pressure, going to scramble a little bit, going to just put the ball up, and Shepard's off all by himself. The Providence player saying that he got pushed off, and there's certainly a lot of room between Shepard and the Providence defender, but looks like 2 plays going against Providence here, and give a touchdown from McKenzie to Shepard.
Yeah, he just had a little too much time there. We weren't able to get any pressure on him. And, you know, you can have the best DBs in the world, and they can do the best job in the world, but, you know, they can only guard someone for so long. He rolled a little, looked right initially, then was able to roll left by some time. C.J. Sullivan, there, the Eagles player, was certainly asking for a flag. There must have been something that he endured that the referee didn't see, unfortunately. But, you know, they put it together when they needed to there. They're going for 2, obviously.
Yeah, and they just go right straight to Falk, and I think Falk had some thought process of going over the top with it, but there just wasn't much resistance. He was able to run it in for the 2-point conversion, and so what looked like very, very positive on the play where they got holding turns out to be back-to-back plays that didn't go Providence's way, and it turns into a 14-6 deficit. The good news is there's 56 seconds left, and so Providence will have an opportunity to at least try to get back into it.
Yeah, and, you know, you know, this certainly, the 56-second thing doesn't fit our offensive style, so we may see run a couple of plays here and just try to get to the locker room, because really and truly, you know, if you ask Coach Kenny Keith, and he was being frank with you, will you take 14-6 at halftime in the first game against Highland Home? I think he probably would say yes. So.
I would agree, and to be able to take advantage, to be 6-6 and really have a bad call against you be the difference in that first half here, I think he would take it. So Keldrick Falk has done just about everything. He's caught a touchdown pass. He's run a 2-point conversion. Haven't seen a lot from him defensively like we thought we would, but here he is going to kick off, so we'll see what he can do. And did about what you'd expect him to do. And Providence able to get on top of it. Not quite sure what Mims was doing there. I think you want to catch the ball if you can. So good field position at the 31 and 56 seconds to go. And if I'm Highland Home, I may not have Falk kick off again.
I'll say this, he won't be kicking at Florida State.
No. And if any Florida State fans, any kind of kicking joke does not go over very well for all the years against Miami when they had those kicking problems. So Pittman going to start out under center, and we'll see what they do. And typically they've run the inside handoff here, so we'll see if they continue to do that. It's going to be a pass. It's going to be a little throwback. And again, that had an opportunity. Mims gets out of bounds. That's a perfect example for fans watching. It had an opportunity, but Pittman didn't set his feet. He's going away from the play, throws it, which causes the ball to go about 2 yards back. Mims caught it, but had Mims caught it where he turned, he had an opportunity to turn up the field.
Yeah, his momentum was coming the wrong way, just a little. And that's on the screen plays. I mean, execution on those is so key. If you can hit your receiver on the fly, if you can hit him on the run and not make him veer one way or the other to make the catch, it makes all the difference. But again, Pittman's under pressure there. You know, there's a breakaway, there's somebody right in his face, so a tough throw to make. And fortunately, we at least completed that one. We're making progress here.
Right. In past years, we wouldn't have seen that play. We would have just seen 3 runs, and they would have either kicked it or time would have run out. So Falk in there on that play, so that's one of the first times we've seen him defensively. And Ryland Banner just going straight up the gut there and give him 2 yards, and it looks like he may have a cramp.
Yeah, he was good hard running by Banner, but he was hit pretty hard as well. And getting a little help with these cramps. Not surprised to see those in August in South Alabama football.
Yeah, very, very humid night. Looked like it was going to rain, sprinkled a little bit. Probably a wet field from the humidity anyway, but the field has not been any kind of an issue tonight, and doesn't look like a wet ball or anything like that being an issue. And really, Banner, the first time we've seen anybody down with what looks like cramps. So on Highland Home side, Austin Crittenden went off hurt with his leg, but he is back in there. So it looks like he was able to come back into the game, unless they have 2 13s. The roster we have is not that great, so if you're an Austin Crittenden fan and that's not him, we're sorry to say that we called that guy. Yep. So clock running with 25 seconds, and Providence does have to snap it, and my guess is just going to be a straight run here. They're going to go in the locker room down 14-6. It's going to be that double kind of inside handoff. We see some success with that sometimes. This time, just kind of go straight up and give them 2 yards, and I think we're going to call it in the locker room and go down 14-6. So that's the score as we head to halftime. Providence and Highland Home. And we'll be back to give you the second half coming up here on the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier Showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
Welcome to Briars Warren Drug Company, your hometown pharmacy in downtown Enterprise. If you haven't visited lately, please do. You'll see some old friends and meet some new friends too. We know you're busy, and we can help by getting you in and out in no time at all. If you need a vaccination, you can get it done right here in the pharmacy. We're here to help you in any way we can, because that's what good neighbors do. Briars Warren Drug Company in downtown Enterprise. You can count on us.
How does the bank make you feel at home?
It's actually looking forward to going inside a bank again, where there's a unique feeling of hospitality that's hard to find today, anywhere. It's where they know my name and they know what I need. It's just different than any other bank. Oh, and they even know my favorite kind of cookie.
Yep, that's how.
Personal attention and unexpected hospitality from River Bank and Trust. Experience it.
Here for the second half of Providence Christian High School, taking on Highland Home in the first game of the year. Here from Dothan, Alabama, Mike Bridges alongside Corey Driggers. And Providence going to kick off to start the second half. And Highland Home, who got a late touchdown to take a 14-6 lead, gets the ball back. And that's why you squib kick right there. Anything could happen. And it looks like Providence got on top of it, or at least had an opportunity to get on top of it. And it's as far away from us as it could possibly be. So let's see what happens.
We missed our chance, it looked like. Yeah, it went right through one of our guys' hands, I believe. And then 13 for Highland Home was able to cover it. That's Austin Crittenden, who was hurt earlier in the game. But well executed there. I mean, that's, the way the old football bounces sometimes. It bounced our way, and we just couldn't capitalize.
Absolutely. And you think about Crittenden got hurt on the play when he fumbled inside the 5-yard line. And we saw him come back late in the first half. And there he makes up for that fumble, because that could have been really detrimental to Highland Home. And Providence got 3 breaks in the second quarter, and I was able to get on the board. But Highland Home has gotten the last couple of breaks, those kind of 50-50 things that happen. And they'll start the second half, 1st and 10 at their own 41. And familiar lineup that we've seen here, and it's going to be a straight run up the middle, and Providence able to get on top of them and hold them for a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, snuffed that out in a hurry. Good job there. Good penetration. Zach Vinson on the play for the Eagles, along with a little like Connor Odom. Thought we would be calling Connor's name a lot tonight. He started out with the first play of the game, and here, second half, first play here, getting that penetration.
So that'll be a 1-yard gain. I believe that was Travion Flowers, who I believe he's listed as a defensive back, probably plays that, has played some running back. So the difference really in the first half has been the play of Bryce McKenzie, the quarterback, and he's going to throw it out to Keldrick Falk, and 6'6", 250, and that's the best way that Providence has played. You can hear we're right next to the coaches, and they really were excited with that, and going to give them, I'd say it's probably a loss of 1 yard there, and to start the second half. So 2 excellent defensive plays there for Providence to put Highland Home as 3rd and 11.
Yeah, C.J. Sullivan, number 14, and 23, Ryland Banner, both outsized. I mean, just tremendously by Falk, but both of them went into attack mode there as that ball was tossed out to him, made really a terrific play.
And Falk doesn't exactly put his head down and try to bowl over you either, so able to get inside on him. That's what you want to do on a big man, get inside on that, and able to bring him to the ground. So it's 3rd and 11. McKenzie back to pass over the top, and he's got Falk once again. He's going to get a first down, and just as I said, he didn't really put his shoulder down. He did there to get some extra yards, and a 3rd and 11. You throw it to your top 100 player in the nation, and you get you 21 yards and gives you a first down in Providence territory.
Yeah, a huge 6'6" target there, but, give credit to number 3, Bryce McKenzie. That was a really nice throw. He dropped that in the zone coverage, and a really nice play for the big first down by Highland Home. And they come out of the halftime with a little spark.
And that's what we talked about, that Pittman needs to get to the point to where he can do that for Providence, not quite to the point to where he can just drop it in when he sees those holes. And so this is a really tough play, and Providence has an opportunity to get on top of the ball.
Harrison Mims.
And it looks like Harrison Mims got on it. That was a play that you would almost say Highland Homes just thought up on the sideline, because it was going to be like an inside handoff, and McKenzie wasn't quite sure who to give it to. And then it looked like Shepard wasn't sure he was supposed to have it. I don't know if it was going to be a fake, but either way, it turns into a Providence opportunity here. First down at 49, so they get their second takeaway, and see if they can take advantage of this one.
Yeah, great field position here, and I thought Highland Home was getting that spark, and just as you said, a poorly executed play. I don't think anybody knew what to do there, and the ball goes on the ground, and Providence pursues, and Harrison Mims with the recovery.
And so there was a little bit of a high snap, but Providence got a little bit of spark in them. Give us 7 yards there for Ryland Banner, and this you couldn't have asked them. Outside of the 20-yard pass to Falk, you couldn't ask them to come out better in the second half.
Yeah, Mason Colley, Parker Jernigan opening up the holes here early for the offensive line and giving some running room there. Really good job by them. We're trying to pick up the pace here, get the play called in quickly, and keep going to see if we can tire out this Highland Home defense.
So I call the game in, try to take stats at the same time, so this is unofficial. Providence had about 84 yards in the first half. And so come out really well in the second half, and you see Banner there running hard, and best run of the night so far for Providence, and give him 10 yards on that run. So first 2 carries of the second half, he's got 18 yards, as we have a huge crash here in the booth. Everyone's okay, and Providence setting up now. 1st and 10 at the Highland Home 31.
A huge hole on that left side. I see Will Price is getting in some action as a sophomore for the line there, and just a lot of running room, a quick burst, and let's see if we can keep this going, keep them on their heels.
And it's interesting, Highland Home playing a really stacked defensive line here, so could be some opportunities in the passing game. And so it's going to be kind of long handoff there to Chappell Stickler, and just couldn't quite get to the outside there. Kind of slow moving play. Got some positive yards though. I mean, give him 3 yards, but still looked like it could have a little better opportunity.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the defense was bunched up there. A lot of men on the line. We tried to get it to the outside to break around the edge. Couldn't quite turn on the speed to do that, but here we're spreading them out again.
Stickler had 29 yards in the first half, and that long 20-yard touchdown to get Providence on the board. 2nd down and 7. It's going to be that inside handoff, and Highland Home right there coming in unblocked, and give the Providence runner credit. He did get 1 yard going forward, and looked like Ryland Banner there, but Highland Home up to the task.
Yeah, didn't have an opportunity to even really get going there, because 58 Brendan Corbin for Highland Home was a 6'2", 240-pound freshman with a penetration there in the tackle.
And remember, folks, this is a 2A school. very, very good, made it to the state Final Four last year, so this is an excellent test by Providence. So 3rd and 6, Pittman in the shotgun. He's got Banner right up against him, and he's got 2 wide receivers out to the left. And it's going to be a fake. Pittman rolls, and he just wisely throws it away. He had Falk right in his face. He wasn't going to be able to throw it over the top of him, and so it brings it up a 4th down and 6, and certainly going to go for it here.
Yeah, no question. We've got a kicker who is trying to kick for the first time here in the game, and you're not going to turn it over to him at this point where we are in the field. See what Coach Goodson pulled out of the bag of tricks here to see if we can get this first down. Oh, we got a flag on the play, don't we? I missed that. I see the ref just been over to pick it up and see some communication.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Wrong.
And talking to the Highland coach over there, so not 100% sure when that flag was thrown. My guess is it's against Providence because he's looking at the Highland coach. Ineligible man downfield. I'd say that's iffy at best, but they call it. The good news is that gives Providence, to be honest with you, if I was Highland Home, I would have declined that because it would have been 4th down.
Yeah, 4th down. I'm with you. That was only a 5-6 yard penalty?
It's a 5-yard penalty. So now it's 3rd down and 11. So really kind of a break because Providence was going to go for it on 4th down anyway. So they get a second chance at a 3rd down play here. Looks like they're somewhat in the same formation. Going to be Pittman with Banner next to him, and then you have 2 wide receivers out to the left, and then Mims kind of in that wing back set right over the tight end. So Pittman going to roll out to his left. He's got 2. He's got an open receiver, and he got it to him. It might have been a little bit inside the field of play, but certainly a ball that needs to be caught.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good route by Grant Baker. He looked like he was going to go deep, then stutter step turned real quickly, and the ball may have been just a little bit late getting to him, and Pittman releasing that. But needed to connect there, but again, 4th down, 31 yard line, we got to go for it here.
Absolutely, and I think one thing that Pittman will see is if he could set his feet just a little bit more, he might be a little bit more of an accurate passer. So play clock going down to 5. I'm sure that Providence is going to call a timeout here. They do, and really, really big play in the game. 14-6, Highland Home fumbled on their first possession of the second half, and Providence a little bit of a drive going, and then it's kind of stalled here at about the 30-yard line. 4th down here in the 3rd quarter for Providence, a big play in the game. Pittman under center. We have a little bit of a movement, and just once again, it's a play that just didn't really materialize. Falk was out there to kind of blow that up, but just was not a lot of confidence in that play.
Yeah, I think the key word you said there, Mike, is what I was thinking is confidence. We didn't look like we believed in what we were about to do, and that just didn't execute there. Of course, Highland Home had penetration. Not sure it would have worked if we would have believed in what we were doing, but didn't look real confident in that play call.
Providence is coming out in some different formations. We heard that they might, and they are running some different plays than they've run in the past, and so it may take a few games to get that underneath, a little bit more practice time, because honestly there was a lot of teams that knew the plays that Providence was running and would actually call out some of those plays. So I think they'll be much better offensively later in the year. So Highland Home with the ball, and McKenzie comes out and throws just a little bit of a option play there that gets just about 1 yard, cut back up inside, wasn't a lot of running room, and Providence has played the run pretty well tonight.
Yeah, really good defense there. I mean, they spread the field. We had Tripp to the near side. They tried to spread it and get something going up the middle. Number 40, Tyson Smith, on the tackle along with another Eagle or two, but good discipline to stay at home, and good, really an open field tackle there.
And that was Derico Harris, I believe. It was Derico Harris, had 18 yards in the first half. We saw him in the first couple of drives and didn't have a lot of carries after that, and just give him 1 yard. So it's 2nd down and 9. And again, Providence defense has kept them in some long situations there, and kind of looked like there was movement. So I'm not sure if there was a flag. Is that what they called?
Well, it looked like the holding signal, but I don't know how you call holding that quick. It seemed like it would have been a false start, but I thought I saw him give the holding indication.
Illegal shift. Let's see. So, again, this is about as far away as you can see from us. Let's see. So, of course, they're going to pick that flag up. Not 100% sure. Then he drops the flag, so not 100% sure there. The play didn't even really get a chance to start, so that might be what the discussion was. So 6:27 to go in the second quarter, which seems like it's been 45 minutes long. It's only been 5. And we're going to take a break and come back and see what happens here with the rest of the third quarter on the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
How does the bank make you feel at home?
It's actually looking forward to going inside a bank again, where there's a unique feeling of hospitality that's hard to find today, anywhere. It's where they know my name and they know what I need. It's just different than any other bank. Oh, and they even know my favorite kind of cookie.
Yep, that's how.
Personal attention and unexpected hospitality from River Bank and Trust. Experience it.
Your family's health is vitally important to all of us here at Center Drugs and Enterprise in Daleville.
We provide personal service and answers to your questions because you're our neighbors.
It's so easy to become overwhelmed by what you read, see, or hear, and that's why Center Drugs is here to make things clear for you
and to make things as easy as possible. So give us a call or come by and see us
at Center Drugs and Enterprise or in Daleville.
At Enterprise Paint and Industrial, we carry a full line of Benjamin Moore paints, along with automotive paints and accessories by Sherwin-Williams and Pro Spray. You will find a great selection of power tools by Makita and many name brand air tools, accessories, woodworking equipment, and hardware. We are your factory authorized service center and full line repair shop for your electrical and air tools. Newly remodeled, locally owned and operated, Enterprise Paint and Industrial, more than a paint store.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
.27 to go in the third quarter following the Heat timeout, and it is second down and 9. Some good running here from Harris. It's by far his best run, and Providence not able to corral him until he gets about 20 yards on the play, and looks like it's going to be first down Highland Homes at the Providence 49.
Yeah, really quick cut back there. Good footwork there by Harris. You saw his speed, his shiftiness there. Anytime your DBs are making the tackle, that's not a good sign. Big gain there for Highland Home.
And Highland Home has some running backs and McKenzie as well that have a little shift in them as well, so they're not easy to take down. So Highland Home with a sprinting out of the huddle that they had 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's just going to be a run straight up the middle, and Providence up to the task there, going to hold that to just a 1 yard.
Yeah, really nice job there by our defensive line. I saw 85 Josiah Moncrief in on that play, and several other Eagles doing a good job of closing that gap early. It's going to be, looks like 2nd and 8.
And we've kind of gotten into that habit of turning over the ball on 4th down, fumble, timeout, and now this is the Heat timeout. I guess the other one was one of the team's timeout. So we'll take it with Scenic Sports Network. You're watching it here live. It is second down and 9 for Highland Home at the Providence 49-yard line, and Harris once again wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. So following his 20-yard run, Providence able to knock him down now twice, and brings up a 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, Roman Banner 21 in on that play. Someone else had good penetration to slow that run down, and then we had a couple of guys with good pursuit to bring it up. This 3rd and long play, which is key for the Eagles. We need to get the ball back here.
McKenzie had unofficially 144 yards passing in the first half, including that late touchdown. And so he's coming up on 200 yards, have 165 yards passing. And certainly a passing down here, 3rd down and 8. He's going to go right outside, try to get player on the outside. Has some good speed there, does get on the outside, able to get that first down. And there is a flag. I'm not sure if that'll be a face mask or not, but it is a first down. So twice Highland Homes had long 3rd down, and both times able to overcome them.
You know, give credit to Highland Home there. Really good play call, getting it out to their speedy guy on the edge. He was able to get the edge. 14, C.J. Sullivan made a great effort, but just a little too quick there. And then 51 tried to finish it off for us. That's Charlie McGee. I think it may have been a horse collar or a face mask. I'm not sure which of those it was, but a good tackle, a good aggressive play by him.
And I saw it right there the whole time, and did not look like a face mask to me.
He waved it off.
So, yeah, it looked like he just kind of had him by the shoulder and took it down. But some good speed on the outside, and Highland Home twice overcoming 3rd and long and kind of taking control of it here. And with 4:57 to go in the 3rd quarter, Providence really needs a stop. If this goes down 21-6, it's going to be tough to come back. So once again, Highland Home just a little off on offense, and going to be just a little bit of a push there. I can't believe they didn't call holding right there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And kind of juking around. Looks like the ball may have come loose. He got it again, so that was a lot of juking. And looks like he gave him just about 5 yards. But there's total hold right off the bat.
I really think that was more accurate to call that a tackle. It was pretty obvious to us up here. I don't know how our officials missed that one, but number 10, Harrison Mims, almost had the tackle and then continued to fight and came back and got the tackle at the end there. We need, again, Highland Home to help us out here again. Turnover, fumble, something here to help us out to stop this drive.
So McKenzie trying to double move, goes up top once again, and Providence with an excellent play, gets his head turned around and able to knock the ball away. One of the better defensive plays we've seen by the defensive back the last couple of years, really.
Yeah, 14, C.J. Sullivan really battled there with that receiver, number 12. Ball was underthrown a little bit. Sullivan finds the ball and doesn't give up on it, keeps fighting, and an incomplete pass.
And so many defensive backs, especially at the high school level, never get their head turned around. He did. That gives you an opportunity to get the interception, but also in the officials' eyes, you're playing the ball as well, and so you really want to do that. So nice play there by Little Sullivan. Brings up a 3rd down and 6, and McKenzie's just going to keep it himself. Tries to pick his way through and actually makes a little bit more than he should have, and brings up, it'll really be a manageable, probably 4th and 4, 4th and 5.
Yeah, that's going to be a 61. It looked like one of the Eagles there, Mason Colley, in on the tackle, who also plays center, playing both ways, giving a gritty effort tonight. And, of course, 4th down territory, no question, for Highland Home, just like it would be for Providence.
So McKenzie had about 75 yards rushing in the first half. I say that because I'm keeping stats, and that's kind of a generality. So he's had a big night, coming up on 200 yards passing, 75 yards, almost 80 yards rushing. So 4th down and 5, and now you have Keldrick Falk. This is very similar to the 2-point conversion, and it looks like they got, looks like Providence jumped, but nobody made contact, and then Highland Home calls a timeout. And I'm going to tell you right now, Corey, as a fan, I hate it when it's 4th down and you line up and then the coach of the offense calls the timeout. Because it really undermines what they're doing.
Yeah.
So there's a timeout on the field, 3:13 to go, probably the biggest play of the game to this point, and we'll see what Providence can do. Want to let you know, as you're watching this on one of your favorite cable outlets, that Scenic Sports Network has a YouTube channel, so just look for Scenic Sports Network, and you can watch a number of games. They have a lot of historical games, too. You can go all the way back. We learned tonight that Providence, going all the way back to the first year, 17 years ago, they have those games on there, so you can watch that as well. If you'd like to hear Corey and I over the years, Corey's got most of those games downloaded, so if you see him, he could show you on his phone, but if not, you can go to the YouTube channel. But all of the games from the area as well, if you're an HA fan, if you're a Wicksburg fan, Dothan High fan, that a lot of those games are on there as well. So the team's back out there, and Highland Home's back out with Falk in the Wildcat formation. This is what they scored on the 2-point conversion. He's just going to go straight up at 6'6", 250, right through the line, and just dances in for the touchdown. Everybody in the stadium knew what he was going to do, and he did it anyway, went right up the gut for a 27-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's just, size and athleticism. Just a big kid, and we couldn't get our hands on him and wrap him up. Nobody was able to get a hat on him at all, it looked like. And,
Now, it's easy for us up here to say, hey, it's right up, straight up the middle. 6'6", 250. Providence is not going to see a guy like him the rest of the year. He's a top 100 player in the country and one of the top players in the state of Alabama going to Florida State. Not an easy guy to take down, and it is frustrating when you know what they're going to do. They had him in 3rd and long, overcame it. 3rd and long again, overcame it. 4th down there, overcame it. And now trying to figure out what to do here on the extra point. It looks like they're going to try. They got another kicker here. We'll see what happens. He's a left footer. And looks like he made it, so it's kind of hard from the angle that we see. So the old lefty makes it. It's 21-6, and if Providence...
Flag on the play, though. I don't know what this one's going to be, but came from the back judge, it looked like.
So 2 officials talking. For the moment, it's 21-6 with 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And more importantly, Providence really needs to put a drive together here. It's never good when the officials kind of talk to each other here. It looks like there's a personal foul. Roughing the kicker, although I never saw the kicker roughed or the kicker hit.
Yeah,
so it's one of the great... I'm just telling you, folks, you come to a high school game in person and you'll see things that amaze you. So now Highland Home just coming up with a touchdown here, and 21-6, and really taking control of the game. Now kicking off from the Providence 45. They have all kinds of kicking problems, and Keldrick Falk did the last kickoff, and that went about 10 yards, and so we'll see what happens here. Looks like another guy's coming out. So Highland Home has more kickers than most teams have in the history of their organization.
Yeah, this is the younger brother of Falk, Caleb Falk, who also is quite a prospect himself. He's going to try his hand at kicking here.
Right, and they say he's 6'3", but he's every bit the same size as his brother there. So Highland Home very fortunate with having the 2 brothers there that are as good as they are. We'll see what happens here. And he just kind of squibs it down. And Providence having trouble picking it up, and has an opportunity here going straight up the middle and kind of snuffed out there at about the 23-yard line. So Providence takes over with their second possession. Had a golden opportunity at the start of the 3rd quarter, getting a fumble recovery right around midfield, but not able to take advantage. And if they ever had a chance to put a drive together, it's got to be right now.
Yeah, back's kind of against the wall here with Highland Home scoring that touchdown and getting that extra point, spreading this score out a little more. So we've got to bounce back here so we can have a chance to win this game in the 4th quarter.
Seems like just a little bit here of not sure on the personnel for Providence, and getting the call in as the clock has started right at 3 minutes, 21-6, Highland Home. And Providence, like we said, about 85 yards in the first half, and had a pretty decent drive to start the second half and just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, going to see Harrison Mims at quarterback tonight for the first time.
So he's going to take it straight up the gut and gets a pretty good run, give him just about 5 yards, 4 yards, and really that's a play that he can do that really I don't think Pittman's able to do.
Yeah, Pittman not having the size and the weight as a freshman, Mims is certainly a strong kid who's got a strong lower half and really runs hard, not scared to put his nose in there, and Pittman will get there. He's just, again, as a freshman, doesn't have the weight on him yet to be able to do that.
And he hasn't run the ball one time tonight, so this kind of gives a little bit of a different aspect, get a different quarterback in there and see if it can give you a little bit of a spark. So he's going to go with an inside handoff here, and just really no running room here. And now it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Now that's for Calvin McClintock that was wrapped up quickly, didn't have much time to get going. Falk, number 15, on the play, along with another Highland Home player. I believe it was 56, Cooper Ingram, on the play there.
So McClintock had a pretty good, kind of came out of the gate good. He had 21 yards rushing in the first half, and had a little bit of a spark in that drive there in the first quarter that Providence was able to drive down and ended up turning it over on downs. So 3rd down and about 4, going to be the inside handoff to McClintock again. He had a little bit of a hole, and now this is going to be kind of interesting. What looked like is a little bit longer. They gave him a good spot, it looks like. So give him just about 3 yards there, brings up a 4th, and it's going to be less than a yard.
Yeah, guys, decision time. I mean, at this point in the game, you know, you don't want to give them the ball, obviously, on the 30-something yard line, but less than a yard with our running game and some of the things we can do, the tricks and the movement and the misdirection, you know, can we get it here? Should we go for it? What do you do, Coach Mike?
I kind of feel like at 21-6, well, they gave him a 1st down, and I'm telling you, you see.
Wow, that was.
I'm telling you, folks, you got to come to a game sometimes because you see things that just don't make any sense. That let's bring the chains out, or let's just eyeball it. From my vantage point, let's go ahead and give it to them. So, Providence, this is the first break they've gotten to the second half, so let's see if they can take advantage of it. So Highland Home looking like that Providence is just going to run it. They're just all right up there on the line. And Mims kind of breaks through the line and give him another good 5 yards there, give him 6 yards. And so Mims running the ball. He's got 11 yards on 2 carries and given a little bit of a spark. And you can see that Highland Home now is bringing everybody in the box, the kind of the area right around the line of scrimmage. So you just don't know if Providence wants to chance it, but they could have an opportunity.
Yeah, we're continuing to get that push on the left side especially, and, you know, behind that side of the line, Mims getting his momentum going. He's a really good runner, and continue to do it until they stop us. I can promise you that.
So just a little bit of an outside play to Banner, and it's just really not going to work. I'll tell you, I don't like the player going over the top of the player that's down already, and that might be what they call there, because at this point, you can't do that. And Banner's been kind of shaken up a little bit. He's really run hard tonight. And looks like Highland Home kind of is going to help Providence out here.
Yeah, that coach will not be pleased with that. I mean, it was a really good defensive play. They strung out the play. Number 4, I believe it was, Kendarius Shepard, with a really big hit. And then his teammate gets a little too excited and tries to taunt a little bit. And we're going to get 15 yards, I believe, out of this.
Well, again, they're sitting and talking, so you don't know. But that was C.J. May, who's played a pretty good game defensively for Highland Home, and just a play that there's just no reason for that. So Providence, though, got the first down. That didn't look like it necessarily was a first down. Now they get the 15-yard penalty. 21-6 with 8.5 seconds to go in the third quarter, where we thought Highland Home had control of the game. If you could pop one here, you can put this in, make it 21-14. That puts the pressure back on Highland Home. So clock running. We'll see if Providence runs a play. Doubtful they do, and it looks like we're going to go to the third quarter. 21-6. Highland Home kind of taking control late in the second quarter, and then with a big drive, and Keldrick Falk going 27 yards for a touchdown, 21-6, but Providence starting to get a little something here as we go to the fourth quarter. 21-6 Highland Home. We have the fourth quarter for you coming back. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier Showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
Welcome to Briars Warren Drug Company, your hometown pharmacy in downtown Enterprise. If you haven't visited lately, please do. You'll see some old friends and meet some new friends too. We know you're busy and we can help by getting you in and out in no time at all. If you need a vaccination, you can get it done right here in the pharmacy. We're here to help you in any way we can because that's what good neighbors do. Briars Warren Drug Company in downtown Enterprise. You can count on us.
How does the bank make you feel at home?
It's actually looking forward to going inside a bank again, where there's a unique feeling of hospitality that's hard to find today, anywhere. It's where they know my name and they know what I need. It's just different than any other bank. Oh, and they even know my favorite kind of cookie.
Yep, that's how.
Personal attention and unexpected hospitality from River Bank and Trust. Experience it.
At Enterprise Paint and Industrial, we carry a full line of Benjamin Moore paints, along with automotive paints and accessories by Sherwin-Williams and ProSpray. You will find a great selection of power tools by Makita and many name brand air tools, accessories, woodworking equipment, and hardware. We are your factory authorized service center and full line repair shop for your electrical and air tools. Newly remodeled, locally owned and operated, Enterprise Paint and Industrial, more than a paint store.
Heading into the fourth quarter here at Providence Christian High School. And here's a inside move by Harrison Mims, who's had a pretty good running room here into the start of the second half. And looks like they're going to give him on 1st and 10 there. It looks like he got just about 5 yards or so. And he's had 3 good runs tonight, taking over for Pittman. And we knew that Mims was going to play a little bit, but he's given him a little bit of a spark running the ball, which has been Providence's bread and butter for years, having a running quarterback.
It has. I mean, you help me find a tougher kid than Harrison Mims and anywhere around the Wiregrass. He's just a great kid. I mean, not only a great kid off the field, but on the field, he's going to give you 110%. And it's just fun watching him play the game.
So Pittman back in at quarterback, and going back to fullback is Mims. So we'll see what happens here. 2nd down and 4, and looks like Providence going to call a timeout. And again, it's frustrating as a fan that Mims plays quarterback, Pittman comes in, Highland Home not 100% sure, and then you call timeout. So it's really unfortunate that that's what happened. How about we take the timeout with them? 11:08 to go in the fourth quarter. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Coming back after the timeout, 2nd down and 4. Pittman back in, throws the ball over the middle, and a good catch there by Chapel Stickler for the 1st down. And Providence moving now down to 35.
Yeah, well executed there. He had time to throw. He had his head up, had his feet set, as you've referenced before, had his feet set and made a good throw, got the ball in and out of his hands quickly. Chapel Stickler across the middle with another nice catch, big gain, 1st down. So here we go as we move inside the 35-yard line.
So he doubled up his passing yardage in the game, had 11 going into that play, and give him 10 yards on that. And Stickler having a good game as well, and got the catch and 1st down at the 35-yard line. Going to be another pass, and under pressure, and Pittman getting away, throwing back over the field. You do not want to do that. And there is Falk, the little Falk, and he got the interception, but it does look like there could be a roughing the passer possibly. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what this is.
Yeah, that may cost Highland Home, but you don't throw back against the grain like that, especially with the length and athleticism that Highland Home has. But again, a learning opportunity here for Pittman. Hopefully, we won't have to live with the consequences of that decision. He can learn from it, and not do that again. But he did a good job. He had pressure early on. He was able to maneuver to the right to avoid that pressure, and I thought we were going to have a positive play out of it until he threw back against the grain.
And that's a situation on tape he'll see. Probably should just try to run it out, maybe make a move and go back inside, get a couple of yards, something like that. Going back across his body like he did, the ball was a good 4 yards short, and obviously you're throwing it back, and like we've talked about, Jacaleb Falk is just a sophomore, but he's 6'3", 215 pounds. You saw him jump up and get that ball, and Highland Home coach may have seen that as well and put him out there as a wide receiver with all the other guys that they've got that are 6'3", 6'4". So not quite sure what's taking them so long to figure out. Like I said, it may have been after the
turnover. Yeah.
So
that's probably what they're trying to figure out, and
maybe where the ball goes. So it is roughing the passer. In
targeting.
The player was ejected, so I'm not 100% sure which player it was.
Oh, it looks like 15. It looks like Falk. Yeah, it looks like the star player for Highland Home has been ejected from the ball game. He takes his helmet off and walks off the field and throws his helmet down as he gets to the sideline. So I believe he is the one who's been ejected.
So a huge break for Providence. It's not an interception. It is a personal foul, and the best player for Highland Home has been ejected with 10:15 to go. Providence down 15 points, has a first down and 10 at about the 27-yard line. These are the kind of things that you have to take advantage of.
No question.
So, again, not 100% sure why we can't. Maybe he's allowing, the official is allowing the Highland Home coach to question why that is happening. And so that's why we have the delay right here. So the official's got something out he's writing. It could be the negative things that the Highland Home coach just said about him just now. He may be storing that away for later. But this is an opportunity that Providence really, if you want to grow as a football team, and especially a football team that's had a little bit of struggling on offense, this is what you want to take advantage of.
Yeah, it looks like the referee here is calling the two teams together, probably to give them a talk and to remind them about what we're here for, and that's to compete, to represent our schools in a positive way and not let this game get out of hand. And I appreciate him doing that. I assume that's what he's doing. I'm sure that's some of that going on, and it looks like not everybody wants to participate in that. In
the Highland Home players are having some reaction, so who knows if there's some talking going on and things like that, which happens all the time in football. And even when you have Christian schools, you still have a little bit of talking sometimes that goes on out there. So they could have heard that as well with Falk being ejected. And, I'll honestly say when Pittman let go of the ball, I kind of watched the ball. I didn't see the play, but I certainly didn't see anything that looked really, really egregious, but he could have been standing over the top of him too.
I totally agree. I missed that part of it. I was following the ball in the interception, and what was an interception turns into a 15-yard gain for us. We retained the ball. So.
All right, first down and 10 at the 27-yard line. See if Providence can take advantage and get some good push here and get a couple of yards there for Calvin McClintock and positive yardage to start what could be really the game-defining drive here for Providence.
Yeah, it looks like this is, the ejection there of Falk has kind of lit a fire up under some of these players on the other side of the ball for Highland Home. Let's see if that emotion helps them or if that emotion takes them to do some things, maybe blow some assignments or commit some more penalties. It's always interesting to watch the game within the game and the emotions, how they affect the players.
Absolutely. You can use that against them as well and running a little bit of misdirection. So we'll see. Here we go with the inside handoff. Got a big hole there for Harrison Mims and trying hard to kind of fight. Looked like he had an opportunity for a little bit more there and hit to the outside. Could have stayed on the inside. Positive running, though. It's going to be a 3rd down and 5.
It was nice play there on defense by Bryce McKenzie, who's the quarterback, who's playing both ways for Highland Home, too. And even better, after the play's over, he gives 2 hands and helps up Harrison Mims. Good display of sportsmanship there after the flag and ejection a few minutes ago.
All right, so it's 3rd down, and they say 7. Didn't look like he got the best spot there. So 3rd down and 7, obviously 2-down territory, and just try to get at least half of it back. And it's going to be Banner straight up the middle, and he's got a really good push, got a hold on to the ball, and as we said, got a little bit more than that. And you talked about the emotion. Right there, Highland Home player threw down the Providence player, and really was no reason for him to do that.
Yeah, number 21, going to cost them big time. 15 yards, I'm sure, are going to be tacked on here when they stopped us, and it was going to be 4th and probably 2.5 or 3. Now we're looking at a first down inside the 10, possibly.
So let's see, again, it's just really interesting to watch the officials really just slow on these calls here. So it was a personal foul. He and Grant Baker were going at it. Baker was pushing him back. He was pushing back, and then he just grabbed Baker and threw him to the ground. You might watch that and think it's not that big a deal, but you just can't do that in football anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not allowed. So, and it hit a guy wrong. You could hurt not only shoulder, hips, things like that. That's why they do it. And so I really think Providence has an opportunity if they want to go at Baker right now, because Austin Norman for Highland is really emotional, and so you have an opportunity here to go after him. And it's going to be looks like first and goal at the 10, possibly. So Providence has 4 opportunities here at the 10 to try to get it in. 8:27 to go, and the game has certainly gotten more interesting. Little motion from Harrison Mims, and Pittman going to run it for the first time, go straight up the middle and give him just about 4 yards there, bringing up a 2nd and goal at the 6.
Yeah, good push there again by the offensive line, and a little something different. They haven't had a key on number 10 running the ball, or I'm sorry, Pittman, number 2 for us running the ball in there. He does a good job, gets positive yardage. I was just about to say before that play, I really wouldn't mind seeing Mims back at quarterback running the ball here, seeing the success that he's had, but Pittman does a good job there.
So the most important part for Providence is to be clean and not have any penalties. Play clock going down to 4 here. Just going to get the ball off and going to pass. Pittman rolls out under pressure, throws it, and nobody was open and did a good job of just getting it away. And C.J. May there was right on top of him.
Yeah, Chapel Stickler, the intended receiver there, but he was a little deeper, and Pittman wasn't able to get much on that ball and get it to him. Thought we might try something there to pop out a little pass. I thought it may come from the tight end, though, and what we did try didn't work. 3rd and 7, but again, 4 down territory no matter what, of course.
Yeah, and something a little bit shorter. Pittman's just been much better with the shorter passes, and so something short would work. So here he is back under center. And he's going to hold it. It was an inside handoff.
Ball's on the ground.
And once again, just was not executed very well. And Pittman really had to stretch the ball out to try to get it inside the Mims, and tried something like we had talked about, a little misdirection, but just couldn't execute.
Yeah, there I saw Pittman and number 20, Chapel Stickler, talking after that play. It looked like Pittman kind of tapped himself on the chest as if to say, my bad. And, hey, everybody makes mistakes. It's good to see the freshman there acknowledging that may have been on him, and learn from it, get better. This is we got a lot of region games. We got 8 of our 10 games are region games. The first one being next week at Ashford, and this is an opportunity to grow and learn from that and see what he did right, see what he did wrong, and then next week when the game really counts for the standings, hopefully we'll be a little better.
And for fans that haven't really paid attention to the region, Slocum and Wicksburg are no longer in this region, and 2 teams that have been pretty good the last couple of years. Slocum expected to be good again. They have a great Jalen Noble and a couple other really good players expected to be good. And then Ashford and Strawn and Pike comes back. Haven't seen Pike for a year or so. And then Northside is eligible to play in the game's count now. So the region has grown to 9. So Bryce McKenzie with an inside handoff here and just getting some positive yards. And so if you're Highland Home, what you want to do more than anything is just control the ball if you can and get a couple of first downs, because there's still 7 minutes to go. What you'd like to do on Providence's end is hold them and force them to punt, because the kicking game has not been very good, and force them to punt from deep in their own territory, and you should get good field position.
Yeah, we've got some guys here that are getting a little tired and hobbling a little bit. One trying to get off the field hurt right now a little bit. I really hope we get out of this game injury-free if possible. We got several guys standing on the sideline that aren't even playing tonight.
And so just another inside run there, and Providence doing a good job, was really not set and 100% sure what to do. brings up a 3rd down and 2. If they could hold them to no gain, maybe get a tackle for a loss, you might have an opportunity here to get them to punt. They certainly don't want to give them the 1st down. And I will say in the last couple of minutes, too, we've seen a number of Providence players with either cramps or just really just some nicks and having to come off the field. So 3rd down and 2. And looks like Highland Home is, and Coach understands with 6 minutes to go, he certainly doesn't want to have to punt it from right around to the shadow of his goal line. And so going to get together and talk about a play here where they can get a 1st down. Providence going to do the same and try to keep that stout defense. Big play here for Highland Home, 3rd and 2. And Bryce McKenzie going to take it himself and once again able to break through some tackles. And Providence had him pretty close to the line of scrimmage. And he was able to break free once again and get that 1st down and give him just about 10 yards, 12 yards on that. And a new set of downs, and the clock going to continue to run.
Yeah, our guys, a lot of them playing both ways. You got to give them credit. I mean, they're giving everything they can, but a little fatigue showing up there in that particular play with the tackling. But again, you know, it's, as you said, very humid night, 1st game of the year, and they're giving it all they have, and we're going to learn from this and get better next week.
I think coming in, we had talked about the Falk brothers and how good they are in Shepherd, number 4, how good he was going to be. Really, Bryce McKenzie's the difference in this game. When you look at what they were able to do, twice he was able to spin off what looked like he was going to be for no gain and made some really positive yards. He was able to extend some plays. He got lucky on the one to Keldrick Falk that was able to catch and turn into a 78-yard touchdown, but he made the plays he needed to play. And I didn't think he would be the difference maker, but tonight he is.
He is. They're just a gritty player. And again, he's another one playing both ways. And, you know, I can't imagine trying to play quarterback, keep your head on straight after playing defense, you know, going both ways in this heat. But he's done a great job of that. You can tell he's a tough kid.
And he's got a lot of experience and was a quarterback last year when they went to the state semifinals. And so he's not one that's going to be too unflappable. So there was a play there that Providence was able to get through. And, you know, like we've talked about before, Highland Home will make 2 or 3 plays where you're like, man, this is going to be a good team. And then they do 2 or 3 plays that just kind of make you scratch your head. That's nothing against Providence. Providence made a great play there, but they're just discombobulated just a little bit.
85, Josiah Moncrief, great penetration there, along with number 30, Trey Douglas, that helped him finish that off.
So it puts them behind the chains, hugely behind the chains, and makes McKenzie going to have to pass. So he's going to go up top and just kind of fling it out and gets it to the other Falk brother and able to get him up to just about the 32-yard line. So give him just about 20 yards on that pass.
Yeah, really good play call there. You get McKenzie on the edge, which show his athleticism. Then you get it to number 5 again, Jacaleb Falk, who's an outstanding athlete, and just throw it up, let him make a play, and 15, 20 yards here and there. So 3rd down now.
So 3rd down and 3. So it looks like we're going to have an offsides, and that's one thing in high school that I'm not really excited about is Trey Douglas there went offsides. His head went over the ball, but he didn't touch anybody. I kind of hate that they call that.
Yeah, where there's no contact.
Right.
Yeah, and Trey's he's beating himself up over it as he comes off the field right here. But this kid's tired. He's giving you every bit of ounce of energy he's got right now. And a mental mistake there, but at this point of the game, that's going to happen from time to time, and hopefully he'll clean it up. He's been a good player for several years for us, and will continue to be so this year.
So that gives Highland Home a 1st down. So they were down deep in their own territory and put a couple of 1st downs together. Sort of surprised that McKenzie's passing it, but he's got a guy wide open. And second time that Shepherd has dropped the pass almost the exact same spot. And 2 big plays possibly for Highland Home fall to the dirt.
Yeah, a really good route, but that's the only part of it. You got to finish it off, and that went right through the breadbasket. Fortunately for us, he was wide open.
Kind of makes you wonder if it is the lights. I mean, it's the exact same spot where he dropped it. And last week in the Jamboree, he had a long touchdown catch. So very capable, great size. You can see that he's being attended to on the side there, so probably has some cramping there. And Highland Home coming back 2nd down and 10, and Providence not out of it. It's close, 21-6. If you can, anything could happen. Really surprised that they're passing the ball.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, I'd just keep the clock running.
I mean, as tired as our guys appear to be, and you want to get out of here with a win, why not run the clock out? They've had some success running the ball, especially the quarterback, so glad they stopped the clock for us there.
So 3:51 to go, 21-6. Highland Home, they have the ball, 2nd down and 10. And if Providence can get them into a kicking situation or a turnover, still a little bit of a light. So there's the run outside to Harris. He's got some room, makes a good play right there, and able to go down inbounds. I think he took himself down inbounds and gives Highland Home another 1st down with 3:39 to go. Now the clock really playing in their favor.
Yeah, obviously I'm a little biased and I'm cheering for the Eagles here, but that was kind of fun to watch. That was a really nice move.
Yeah, so that's about a 15-yard gain. He has a 20-yard gain, and so quietly putting together a good night. So coming up almost on 60 yards rushing, made a couple of really nice moves. One move to the inside, one move to the outside, and smartly going down inbounds. And at this point, sometimes the guys may want to get another score, but realistically, you just want to run the clock out. So Harris goes out again, and Providence up to the task, though, throwing for a loss there of 2 yards.
Yeah, much better result for the Eagles on that play. Setup looked like I was going to run it the same way. I believe Connor Odom, 35, in on the tackle there. He looked like he's a little banged up. He looks like he's been fighting through an ankle or something tonight that's been bothering him. But our guys continue to play hard to the end. That's what you want to see. Obviously, Coach Keith does, and that's what he expects of these guys. And that's something they're continuing to do. 52 coming in to get a little playing time. That's Finn Sanders, a sophomore, in place of Odom there.
Which is good. You want to get these guys in and get them some opportunities because they're going to learn from that. McKenzie going back to pass once again. Really surprised that they're passing it. McKenzie just going out, really wants to launch it and has an opportunity, and it's caught. And the defensive back there, C.J. Sullivan, not quite sure where the ball was. And Highland Home sets up now inside the 5. And something about that they really want to score here for some reason.
Yeah, McKenzie's showing a good arm, throwing that ball up and letting his receivers make a play. And he's got so many athletes. I mean, this is another kid who just caught that one. I don't think we've called his name all night. They just continue to go to the well. They're that deep.
And that puts McKenzie over 200 yards. He's going to be approaching 250 yards by the time this is out, and has just about 80 yards rushing. Now the snap right over his head, and interesting that he throws it and sitting there. And that just shows you right there. That's a touchdown. McKenzie just running around and throws it, and there's nobody in the neighborhood, and they get a touchdown. Well, we talked about before, McKenzie's been the difference in this game. Yeah,
that's just one of those things when you have a snap that high over your head, it bounces right back to you, and you can throw it that way. Things are going your way. But again, that's an athlete. McKenzie's an athlete. He makes an athletic play, picks the ball up, keeps his head up, looks downfield, and he throws it to another athlete down there for a really good touchdown for Highland Home. You hate to see that. You want the ball to bounce our way on that, but it didn't work out.
In some ways, the ball bounces your way. Other ways it doesn't. It bounced right back to him. And as soon as he threw it, my first thought was illegal lineman downfield. And I looked up, and every lineman was just standing there. And unfortunately, most of the other Providence players were standing there as well, probably thinking that
the play's over.
Yeah. So the point after, the lefty goes up, and it looks like he made that one as well. And so with 1:51 to go, it is 28-6. Highland Home, as we talked about, kind of surprised that they were not running the ball, just going to run out the clock. They really wanted to score there at the end. They got the long pass play and then the lucky bounce and touchdown pass.
Yeah, thought we were going to call for roughing the kicker there again. Looks like we did have a little contact with him at that point. But, and hey, another nice kick by the young man. I mean, I don't know why they didn't have him in the beginning of the game.
That's right.
Punched that one through pretty nicely.
They don't allow him to kick off, though, which is unfortunate. Maybe they should. As a left footer myself, I'm partial to left-footed kickers, so glad to see that. And we need to see more left-footed kickers out there. So coming into this game, if you've stuck with us the whole broadcast, we really appreciate that. But we knew this was going to be a tough task for Providence. They need, kind of some chemistry to come together. They had some struggles on offense last year. We could see similar struggles this year. The offense just kind of can't get on track. But we knew Highland Home was going to be, they're an excellent 2A team. We saw Elba last year, and I thought Elba had a real opportunity to go far in the playoffs, and Highland Home beat them 32-0. So this is a team, some good players last year, a couple of all-state players have graduated, but they have Keldrick Falk, they have his brother Jacaleb, and Bryce McKenzie, and so this is an excellent team. Providence has no reason to be disappointed in the outcome of this one.
No, I think there's certainly some things to build on. I think we can see the improvement from last year to this year, even in the first game. And again, yeah, we're losing 28-6, but there certainly has been some improvement and some things, some positive things that they can take this week, and some obviously some things they can work on. And hopefully going to have a better year than we had last year. I think the pieces are there. We've got some guys that are injured that are going to be coming back in the coming weeks, and some of those are really difference makers for our team. So there are better days ahead for us.
So Providence going to, with 1:43 to go, start what they hope to be as a quick drive here at the 35-yard line. And the offense looks much better than it did last year. The first couple of games last year really they struggled. This year they look a little bit more cohesive. I think Pittman can see where he could make some passes just a little bit better, but you're seeing the confidence in him. There's a perfect opportunity. Very, very good pass, and it looks like that Ryland Banner has an opportunity to take it in, and it gets dragged down just at about the 7-yard line. So by far the best play of the night for Providence, right when you need it. 1:32 to go, and they go from their 35 all the way down to the 6.
Yeah, Mike, that may be the longest Providence pass that I have seen ever. A really nice throw, running right down the seam, 23 Banner, and he put it on target. Hey, we spread them out. Good things happen.
That's right. Just about 59 yards, and way back in the Collins McClintock, he hit a couple of guys in stride and then had some long passes, but we certainly haven't seen one of those in a while. So there was an excellent pass as well through traffic, and had an opportunity, but Calvin McClintock not able to bring that in.
Yeah, intended for Calvin on the looked like a quick slant there. Got it out a little ahead of him in a lot of traffic, but again, a quick, confident throw. That's the one you want to get in your hands and get out. Looks like we're going to spread it out and try to throw it again.
Yeah, and can Providence win this game? Most likely not, but they certainly could have just went 3 and out and just called the game here. Mm-hmm. So to be able to get that big pass play and to be able to get a touchdown here would be huge for them. So Pittman goes right over the middle, and looks like that ball was intercepted and brought back out to about the 7-yard line. There was a huge push in the back, so we'll see if they call that on Highland Home. But Pittman, who had some struggles with his accuracy, was very accurate on that drive, but that one went right through the guy's hands.
Yeah. So that's I hate to see that. You know, we really wanted to kind of finish strong here on this point. What it looked like was going to be a positive note after throwing the ball and seeing, what can we do when we spread it around, when we spread it out and throw it. Because you think about it, if we could do that, if we could be a team who could spread it out and throw it from time to time and then come back to the running game and go back and forth, we could cause some confusion for some other teams. And Pittman's got that potential. I know it. You can tell just the confidence and just the demeanor, the way he carries himself. He's going to be a good quarterback. He's got a good arm. He's going to be and continue to grow into this role. So good days are coming. How much of that will we see this year with him throwing the ball? That remains to be seen. But in the future, he definitely needs to be throwing the ball.
Right, and he's going to have opportunities against teams that certainly are not as athletic as Highland Home is. I think Providence has opportunities in the seams. Mm-hmm. They're not real good passing out toward the sidelines and the out routes. They are on the slants and they are down the seam. And I think if they can kind of expose that a little bit more, they do have some opportunities. Pittman throws a much better ball down the seam than he does kind of throwing it out. And that's a very, very difficult throw. And Bryce McKenzie is going to have, over 250 yards passing tonight. And most of his are balls that he just threw up and threw down. He's not making a lot of pinpoint passes either.
Yep. Yeah, throwing it up for those guys that are 6'3", 6'5", against DBs that are 5'9".
That makes a big difference. So Highland Home gets the interception, brings it out, and has the ball at the 1 yard line. Have never seen the sign that the official made. I'll have to go back and try to figure that out. I'm pretty sure it was a block in the back. But Highland Home at this point really only has to snap the ball 2 more times, and this game is over. 28-6, and it certainly was closer than that in the first half, and 14-6 was the score at halftime. And Providence got a turnover to start the second half, but really the offense could never really quite get on track, and probably going to have about 160 to 170 yards total offense. And in high school football, especially as good as it is around here, you got to have a lot more yards than that. Looked like an opportunity to possibly get a safety. That's not going to happen, and I don't think that they're going to have to snap it again. We have Highland Home has done some odd things tonight, so they could snap it again. You never know. But they're going to walk out of here with the victory, 28-6. The clock winding down, and Providence going to lose the opener now for 3 straight years, and certainly have some bright spots, certainly some things to look forward to. And like you said, region game next year with Ashford, and so next week they really got to put it together and start the region and take today's positives and turn that into action next week.
Yeah, looking forward to that game next week, a big region game. We're Ashford joining our region for the first time, and sometime going to 3A from 4A, so they've got a good program. They're always good. They're going to be, a tough matchup for us, but hopefully we can make some improvement in practice this week, get some guys healthy, and be ready to go next week.
And you'll see, take a look at the schedule, because you'll see a couple of different teams that you haven't seen in the past. Strawn's on, and like we said, Ashford, and you won't see Slocum or Wicksburg like you have in the past. So for Corey Driggers, I'm Mike Bridges. We certainly appreciate that you stayed with us the entire game. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Check out Scenic Sports Network. You can see these games as well as games going back plenty of years for all your local teams that you enjoy here at Dothan. The final from Providence Christian High School, 28-6. Highland Home with the victory. And we'll see you in a couple weeks for the next Providence game. Have a good night.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.